y'all go ahead and tweet the space out as well too, man. Tweet the space out. Greg, I know I saw you early in the comment section. You said you was gonna be up in here, so shout out to you. I hope to hear from you tonight as well too. And we got some of our usuals up in here, so I know she's normally busy at times. When Trouble gets a chance, I'm sure Trouble gonna come up here and say something. Miss Giselle, I saw you retweet the space out as well too. So shout out to you. I know some of y'all probably been in some spaces and everything else with this situation going on. So I definitely we heard about it yesterday and I already had the space plan. I wanted to cover it yesterday, but I definitely glad to go ahead and get it in tonight as well too. So I know all of y'all seen the video, man. It was crazy. They were just gonna jump on old boy. And luckily, you had some black men stand up and wasn't having that. MF Kush, what's going on? How you doing tonight? Oh, yo, also, guys, we're gonna be talking about Eminem because I've been getting into it with a bunch of folks online, and somehow Eminem is the reason that rap music, hip hop, whatever you want to call it, has become global. I believe he has a song out on his album. And he's talking about he turned the house into a mansion, basically like, yeah, he might be a guest, but he turned the house into a mansion. So yeah, we gotta go in tonight on this, man. We going in on these Peckerwoods in Alabama, and we also going in on old Eminem as well too. I give him shout out for having skills. I give him in a shout out for having skills on the mic, but no, you came into a thriving market, and I had to dispute some folks as well too, talking about like, listen, rap was a multi-billion-dollar industry when Eminem walked in. Eminem album, I believe, came out with a 99, 98. Well, rap had outsold country music as a number one seller, a musical genre in the actual country as well too. Country music was number one, and rap replaced it that year. So no, my boy, he came into an established house. He didn't come in here, you didn't build a house. You didn't turn a trailer into no damn mansion as well either. So let's just go ahead and get that in. But MF Kush, go ahead. How you doing tonight? I'm gonna get to you, Greg.
Peace, power, reparations to all my Black American family in this room, and shout out to you, Newstoter. So look, Eminem is a white man that all he is doing is appropriating Black American culture. That's all he's doing. He's not doing anything more innovative. He's not doing anything special. That's all he is. And at the end of the day, he entered our culture under a false persona anyway. Talking about his mama this and da 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 da. Well, guess what? That's not your bullshit childhood does not equate to what my ancestors went through, are going through, and what happened the other day. None of that has nothing to care. Like nobody cares. So I was also going back and forth with people as well in Dewan B's comments about this, and people are calling me racist. Well, that's fine. I'll be racist, but I stand in my culture. White people don't take accountability for the bullshit that they do, and that's just going to be a fact if they're completely disingenuous. Again, a white man introducing himself into Black American culture, but disrespects our people. He calls our women bitches. He sat there and disrespected Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson turned around and bought his whole shit. Now what? But I land with that point. My second point is the Brawl. Listen, all I'm going to say is I appreciate my Black American family standing 10 toes down on what happened, because it goes to show you that we are a real community and we all stand up for each other. What that was, and what a lot of people don't understand, is the history of what happened. That place was an auctioning place for us. That's where they sold us at one point. And the ship that got there was also called the Harriet. That kind of goes to show you how full circle a lot of this goes. And I don't see nothing wrong with it. White people should have minded their business at the end of the day and did what they were told. And that black man was doing nothing but was doing his job. That's all he was doing. He got attacked for it. Not to mention, and I want to point this out, and I'll land, the signal that he gave out. And for some of you guys who may or may not be familiar with what that means when I say signal, that brother got pushed, stepped back, threw that hat up in the air and kept his hand up. That meant something. That meant it's time to go. It's time to make some shit shake. And also to add to that, the saying goes for what my grandmother said: a man will take his hat and when he lays it where his wife is at, that is his home. There's a lot of symbolicness that go on to it that is real. It means a lot to us as a community. So I want people to realize and watch out for that. And just know that we was watching and we not gonna conform to what no white people are saying or how they feel, and none of that, or take none of their bullshit. I land.
All right, thank you, MF. Thank you. Shout out. I see my co-host up in here, DJ and Professor as well too. We got Greg up here, Dana, and I want to hear from a host of y'all tonight too. So don't be shy, don't be brand new. Let me give a shout out to my people on YouTube as well too. Shout out to all you guys over there on YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, share, comment on the actual broadcast tonight. I see my boy Cognitive up in here as well too. Let me go ahead and get to let me get to you, Greg. Then I got Dana. I got you, Jesus. Professor, of course, I got you as well too. So let's go ahead and get this thing around. And yeah, the title tonight is what it is, y'all. We talking about the brawl in Alabama, the race. It was what it was, a race fight, and we're also talking about Eminem. A lot of people butt hurt with me, MF. I know what you were saying. A lot of people butt hurt with me because I posted that poll and whatnot. And I'm a hater and I'm a racist or whatever. Yeah, you are a guest in the damn house. Okay, like I told them before, if Charlie Pride can be a guest in country music, and black people definitely had to create a hand in the creation of country music. You know damn well he's a guest in hip hop. He said it before, and they sitting up here and people up here talk about he's better. He's a better artist, or he's a better lyricist than Tupac and Ice Cube. And you had a lot of Negroes up here singing this too. So don't think it was just white folks. You got a lot of Negroes up here shoe shining and tap dancing as well too. So let me go ahead and get to Greg. Greg, how you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up? And you know that Alabama bullfight, I'm all for the brothers on that one. Because first of all, this stuff has been ramping up for a long time because the MAGA think they all big and bad, talk a lot of shit. Well, here's another thing. That tried that in a small town, it was tried in a small town. They fucked around and they found out. Point blank. I'm all with them on that. So yeah, I'm happy of the turnout of what happened because these rich white folks who thought they were gonna put their boat where it shouldn't have been. Well, you know, the security guard was doing his job, and then they're gonna jump him. Oh, hell no. Had I been there, I'd have jumped in and helped them. I would have helped the security guard too. That shit don't fly with me neither. Period. Point blank. I'm all for it. You know what the fuck around and find out moment? They found out. That shit ain't gonna happen. And yet, you know, here's another thing I was thinking. You know, MAGA, they're so bad at talking about they want to fight and they want to do a civil war. Okay, now thinking about that, they want to try a civil war. Well, do you really think after what happened that they're ready? I don't. So yeah, I think what went down exactly the way it should. And y'all have a right to be happy about that. Y'all have a right to celebrate that. I'm gonna celebrate that. I'm gonna celebrate that with you. I'm currently trying to make a video and incorporate Jason Aldean's song into it as a fuck around and find out moment. His song was used against him very quickly, and I want to do that same thing. Thank you for having me up here.
No problem. Thank you, Greg, for coming through. Like you said, you were gonna come through. Appreciate that, brother. Let me give a shout out to Cognitive as well, too. Cognitive, thank you for your donation on Cash App. Let me go ahead and move it around and get to Miss Dana. Dana, what's going on with you? I know you had that space. I was gonna put the Obama thing in there, but I heard you killed it in there, so there wasn't no need to even touch up on it. What's going on, Dana?
The microaggression space from last night. First of all, what I'm about to say is off topic, but I want to know why, DJ, why do you keep kicking me out Newstoter space when I'm under my other account? Can you hear me?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't kick you out of anything. I don't do that. I just got you blocked, sister. That's all.
You have me blocked from you for what? That's so petty. Why you have me blocked? And this is why I bring it up, because I don't know if DJ kicked me out or not. Because when you first started your space, I seen it come up. And you saw me join. And then next thing I know, I'm listening. It was like, you have been removed from this space. So, and then it shows space unavailable. And I've mentioned this to you before, Newstoter. So I don't know what is going on with my other account. And you know how when you are on somebody's space, your followers could see that you're in a space with the, when the round circle light up. Mine's don't light up. So maybe it's just my account. But I mean, I'm just accusing DJ. Part of it is me being funny. But being that you said you have me blocked, that's real petty. Like, you too grown and old for that.
Yeah, well, I don't. We'll touch up on that in a second, Dana, because I don't want. I want you to drop some. I want you to. Yeah, I want you to drop something on the topic.
I am going to address the topic. I just want to say that in the beginning, but that's the mystery why I can't see your spaces. But anyway, getting to the topic on the Riverfront Brawl. I don't have a problem. I'm glad it stayed to fighting, and the fact that sometimes you got to let off steam. Because honestly, I think that Black people, it wasn't delayed to come and help that Black security guard man, because those white people were beating up on him for a minute, for a good 5 minutes before somebody came. And God bless that young man that jumped in the water, honey. I'd seen it, but I wasn't paying attention to that. Somebody swimming. So I don't have a problem with what happened. It is what it is. If you take the racial component out of it, listen, everyone was probably tipsy except for the security guard. But at the same time, you have to respect this man doing his job, and you were in the wrong. But that goes to show us the white privilege that white people walk around with. They do suffer from cognitive dissonance, and they're in denial about it. But that is a psychological problem that they have, to where they have this superiority complex, that you don't want to listen to authority. You think your actions is the top authority. So that man was doing his job, and I'm glad to see Black men whoop those white men ass, and the white women, because they shouldn't have got their asses in the middle of it. And the guy who picked up the chair, I think the chair going viral on its own. It was funny, very comical, but at the same time, respect to the brothers. And I'll yield for now.
All right, thank you, Dana. Yeah, it was funny, and the funniest thing was the sister, when she saw the young Black guy that jumped up in the water. Her little commentary to me was that was the best part right there. She was definitely rooting him on. So.
Right, but wasn't it two commentaries? The woman that was on the other side of the river filming a guy swimming, and then there was another Black woman doing commentary. She was standing right above the fight.
The one I'm talking about must have been the one that was standing right above the fight, because she was the one. I think that was the one that was chanting him on. If I'm mistaken, I'm not sure.
Because there was a woman that was filming him swimming, so you saw the back part of him swimming towards the other. So she was on the other side, and I
think that was the same woman chanting him on.
Well, I mean, yeah, shout out to her, because that made the video.
Hey, that was the best part.
Entertaining, and Black women, listen, whatever we touch or talk about, we make it pop. So it is what it is.
Yeah, she was the best. She was the best one. I'm sorry, like, she had everybody that heard that video has been rolling talking about her. Like, she had it popping there. Let me go ahead and get to Jesus. Go ahead and unmute your mic. You kind of low. Do you got on any headphones, anything? Yeah, if you could take the Bluetooth off, because it's really hard to hear you. Yeah, I could barely hear him.
Now you can hear me now?
I can hear you much better. Yeah, anybody with a Bluetooth on, if you can help it. I know sometimes y'all driving, but if you can help take it out, please go ahead and take it out, because it definitely makes it easier to hear you. Shout out to Rerod too as well. Rerod, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. But go ahead, Jesus.
I don't want to take too much time, but I saw the video and it was cool. The little fight thing like that. That's cool. It was a good victory for us. to see us galvanize like that. But I feel like one thing that we got to be careful about is one problem with us is that we play checkers when the game is chess. So, this stuff going viral and I'll be making a big fuss about it. But ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, against those same type of people with that same type of mindset, that incident in Mississippi, and could also be a galvanizing point going forward for that group. So we got to kind of stay with that same sort of mindset.
You kind of breaking up, coming in and out some.
The game is for the long haul. But that's all I want to say. Thanks for letting me speak. I'll keep listening.
No problem, man. Yeah, and one thing I think also they also just need to, because and then you're talking about the state of Alabama too, Professor. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. We're here in the South, and you talk about we're here in the old South at that as well too. He's in Alabama, I'm in Florida, so you always got to watch out for some of these rednecks coming back for some get back as well too, and potentially targeting women or children as well too. So definitely keep that head on the swivel. Definitely, it's a lot of people in Alabama. You're talking about Alabama, which is synonymous. When you think about Mississippi, you think about Alabama. They're like two twins. So there are a lot of rednecks that did not like what happened, that went down whatsoever. So a lot of them are fuming right now. You got people like Tommy Tuberville and them. You can imagine what they call them, black people, everything but a child of God at their house for what they saw. So definitely, I want our people down there to stay as safe as possible. Keep your guards up. Stay alert. Definitely keep that thing on you as much as possible as well too, because you just never know. You're talking about Alabama, and we know exactly what Alabama is capable of as well too. Professor, and you the one, and I know you had and I wanted to cover the story last time. We already had the space made up, but I'm glad we touching up on it tonight. But Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic, and if you know anything that's going on in the state as well too, let us know. How far is that from where you live at, Professor?
Okay, what's up, family? Peace, power, and reparation, and let's get some more of these folding chairs. How about that? Okay, and how big will we be if we all got a folding chair so we can start using them to knock out these damn conquerors? That's what I'm talking about, baby. So with that being said, Newstoter, I'm 20 minutes away from where this happened, and I have went out there to that location many times. It's a beautiful scene where you can just go and you get on this river boat and they take you up and down the Alabama River. It's great sightseeing, but this is also a historical place where we was auctioned off right there in that very spot. So I want everybody to understand the historical significance of what you saw in that video. You think about how black people were brought into this country on ships, and how black people right there Saturday evening got off that boat and went out there and said, hey, we finna stand 10 toes down and you white motherfuckers' asses. And that's what they did. And I'm very proud of the young man that said, hey man, I've got to get over here and help my brother out because he's being beat down, knocked down. Shout out to the young man that had sparked our people. That young man sparked our people, y'all. 16 years old, he has put a spark into the people to say, hey man, we got to take a stand. 16 years old. Now, if a 16-year-old can go and swim across, at least I think about 500 feet, to go help another man that was in trouble, a man that is of his color, that's what we're supposed to do at all times when it comes to our people. When we see our people in trouble, we need to go defend our people against these caucasoids who are attacking us. That's how you do it. And this was a very proud moment, y'all, because when you saw young people, middle-aged people, older people come together to knock some sense into these caucasoids that we ain't going to let you keep doing us any kind of way, that's what black people can do when you have unification. Black men and black women and black children standing together, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Black unity. It was such a beautiful sight, y'all. That's the kind of heat that I want to see from my people. We need to bring that kind of heat to these people that want to keep trying to fuck with us. Okay? That brother, I think they said he's about 60 years old, a security guard. He was just doing his job. And these folks want to fuck with him because they didn't respect him. Just like they just don't respect black people. They privilege and they don't respect us. They think we ain't shit. So, they learned a lesson. They all learned a lesson that we are not going to be pushed around. And that's what I saw out there. I don't know what everybody else saw, but that's what I saw. I saw black American people standing up saying that we're not going to take this shit anymore. We're going to have to start knocking you folks down because you keep fucking with us. So, Newstoter, I'm 20 minutes away from that spot, man, and I'm telling you, after watching that video several times, I wish I had been there because I already know I would have got in on that. And it would have been all my pleasure. And y'all, I'm going to tell you something. If y'all didn't catch that part, I know y'all caught the part where the guy was throwing the chair or slamming the chair against the dude's head. And he hit that white woman's head too. But what people not understanding, he hit that white woman in the head because she was in the fight. She was in the fight along with them white men attacking brothers and anybody else she could attack. So she deserved to get hit. But anyway, did y'all see where the sisters, of course, they got off the boat and they got in. They said, okay, well, look, we're going to go after these Karens. And that's what they did. They went after the Karens and they took the Karens out. And one of the sisters threw one of them Karens in the water, y'all. I don't know if did y'all see that part?
I ain't see that part.
Yeah. One of the sisters threw the Karen in the water, y'all. And
That was golden. That was golden.
Yeah, it was golden. That was really golden. I'm telling you. Look, the sister said, look, we're going to help our brothers out by pulling these white women out of the fights. And so we can pull them to the side and take care of business on them while the brothers take care of the men. Because see, let's be honest, y'all. When it's men fighting, women don't need to get into the fights with the men. And I don't understand why these caucasoid women were trying to get into the fights with the men. See, I don't understand that. So shout out to the queens that got in those fights and pulled those Karens out of the way so they could kick them and then put them and throw them in the water. I love it. Shout out to the sisters. So let's give a shout out to that young brother. Shout out to the queens that got out there and did their thing. And shout out to all the black men that stood together. Praise Jesus. Let's keep doing this.
Hey, real talk, Professor. I had an article from Black Enterprise, but it ain't even worth reading because everybody going in, like, it covers more than the actual article. So it ain't even worth touching up on tonight. Like, normally, I like to go ahead and get it in, but damn that, like, everybody pretty much on point. So I can't really, it's no point even reading the article. Let me go ahead and get to Ray. Ray, what's up? What's going on? And y'all, we also, like I said, we talking about Eminem tonight too, but we know like the star of this actual space has got to be what went down in Alabama. And shout out to Alabama. And dude, only 16 years old. He showed that he was about it. He was about it. I mean, my man jumped right up in the water with complete disregard for his own safety. 16 years old. This young dude thinking strictly about what's going on over there. Grown men wouldn't even do that. We see a bunch of grown men sit around and watch women get knocked out cold. And this joker jumped right up in there like, hey, if it is what it is, and it is. So shout out to this young man. Him and the one with the chair, they were the stars. They were the stars out there. So I got to give a shout out to both of them. Go ahead, Ray. You got it.
I must say, man, for myself, I'm definitely enjoying the memes that are coming out of this. First of all, the first one I seen was the Boston Tea Party, and in 2023 it turned into the Alabama Sweet Tea Party. Boy, that thing almost had me in stitches. And then they also called it the Fade in the Water. And the brother that jumped into the water to swim over there, man, they called that brother Scuba Good Jr. and 21 Salmon. I mean, it's just all types of memes, man. I can't get enough of them. And that was very, very good to see, man, that the community can come together, man. We see your brothers in trouble instead of standing around, like you said. I want to touch on the Eminem thing too, really, really quickly, man. I know we want to get back to the stars of the show, but yeah, man, I said this yesterday, man. Eminem is the most protected person in hip hop. There's no other person that when someone like 50 Cent, if you diss Eminem, that's a person that's older. You can't come for Eminem. Like, you're a rapper. That's what the whole point. You're supposed to, if someone comes at you, you're supposed to come back at him. But Eminem's the only one. You just can't diss him. Oh, you don't diss Eminem. Like, who the fuck is he? They put this man on this pedestal, man. I don't even think he asked for it. They just, the Negroes just automatically put him on the pedestal. And one more thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah. It's not a coincidence that, because Eminem, he calls himself the rap god. He's fighting off of Rakim. Because, Rakim calls himself that. He calls himself the God MC. The God MC, and you call yourself rap god. The same exact thing, man. So he's been biting off of the style for a long time. And yes, 100%, he is a guest in hip hop. I land there.
Appreciate that, Ray. And I got that poll back up in the Jumbotron on the far left-hand side, guys. So go ahead. It's on the far left-hand side. And make sure you go ahead and comment on the poll. Go ahead and vote on the poll as well, too. Is Eminem a guest in hip hop? That's up in the poll. So definitely go ahead and check that out as well, too. And like I said, I had to go ahead and show people like I'm like, look, in 98, rap music surpassed country music, which was the biggest selling genre in this country. And people trying to say, oh no, it was 99 when it happened. It was 99. No, it was 2017. Basically, it's after he put out an album is when because Eminem had an album that came out, I believe, in 96 that didn't do anything. So Eminem, it wasn't until he got with Dr. Dre that when he really took off, is when he really exploded. So people trying to sit up here and act like, yeah, if you want to be truthfully honest, rap in terms of commercial success really gained a lot of notoriety. And I know people don't like to give him his credit, and people they laugh at him. They talk about he was whack back in the day, this and that or whatever. But say what you want to, that You Can't Touch This song at the time sold 13, 14 million copies. I think it went on close to selling by 17, 18 million copies. That was the first diamond album in rap history. People never give the Hammer his due for that, but that was the first diamond album. The Hammer actually brought a lot of commercial attention to rap with that album, even though he got dissed by everybody that was up in the game because they talk about he was whack and he was a sellout and he was this and that or whatever. But truth is the truth. I got people sitting up in the comment section telling me, rap was only basically in the United States. You couldn't go to Asia and Europe and tour and all this other nonsense. I'm like, man, if you don't get up out of here. When Biggie and Tupac died, that was international news. Not to mention that you had rappers like Will Smith and everybody else that was putting out shows and movies and everything else. You got hip hop brands and all kind of clothing lines. Like, what in the world are you talking about? Like hip hop, even back then, you had people biting the culture from all over the world. Like people have always bitten Black American music. You can go back to the British invasion with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and all of them, and they were idolizing Black music over here. So to sit over here, I'm not going to take anything away from the man and say that, hey, that he wasn't successful and he's not a good rapper and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. The man has sold a bunch of records and stuff like that. I think he has the biggest selling albums in rap history, so I can't take that away from him. But to sit up here and act like you didn't walk into an industry, and not only that, it was the Black people that co-signed for you. They had like, well, he went over there. It was people that never knew about rap until he actually came in here and he actually put. I'm like, man, get out of here with that nonsense. This dude benefited off of a well-established art form that was not only huge in this country, but that was also huge throughout the world as well, too. So taking nothing away from him, but no, he did not turn the house into a mansion. He's a good artist, but no, he's not the best. And this and that, and people sitting up here talking about he was better than Ice Cube and Tupac and all this other stuff. And yeah, man, please get up out of here. And you're right, Ray. Certain things, like we can call each other nigga all day and we can curse women out and this and that or whatever, but you can't sit up here and call him the C word because then you're racist. In rap, people say all kinds of stuff to talk about people's families, their kids, their wives, and everything else, but you can't sit up here and diss this dude. You can sit up here and call another Black man nigga this, nigga that, nigga that, but you can't sit up here and call him a racial epithet. So please, let me go ahead and kick it to Rella. Rella, what's up? I see you up in the space.
Newstoter. Hey, GJ.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Professor. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, what's up, brother? What up?
Y'all make sure y'all check on y'all family on the East Coast, man. I just had a tornado come through here. My power just came back on a little bit ago, about maybe 10 minutes ago.
I'm glad that you okay.
Okay,
Well,
it might have been longer than 10 minutes because we've been in space longer than that. But it's been within the last hour. So yeah, y'all check on y'all family on the East Coast. The storms is coming through. I want to say the Riverfront Brawl. It's funny at the same time, but it definitely speaks to the fact that, you know, we do protect each other. A lot of times people don't believe that we show up for each other, and sometimes in some cases maybe we don't enough. But I always say I don't knock people, even those people who do pull out their cameras, because without their cameras, you know, we wouldn't have footage and evidence. So I think in this particular case, we had it all. We had people who were recording for evidence. That was a form of protection. Videography. Then we had the brother who ran down the ramp, who was the first brother to show up. And it's not taking anything away from the 16-year-old kid, because I'm going to tell you what, that was a hero and a inspiration move to jump from that ferry boat and swim to the dock to jump in to protect an elder. But the man who ran down the ramp, who actually took on 5 of those men while they were pummeling, 5 of those men and a white woman, while they were all pummeling, and the white women were trying to act like they were innocent, like they weren't doing nothing. One of the white women, you know, who jumped into the fight, once the young boy got out the water, she casually tries to walk off like she didn't do nothing. So then you see the security guard take a fall because he's out of it. You know what I'm saying? He probably caught a concussion at that point. But the gentleman who ran down the ramp, he is to be, I think, applauded, because I think had he not intervened, no telling what type of maybe physical damage they could have done to the captain, the boat captain. He wasn't a security guard, he was a boat captain, one of them. And then once the boat was actually able to dock on a ferry, you see how the rest of the people and the men who were leading the charge, or they were the women that came behind them, but the men who came off, they knew already when they came off that it was on site. They was like, oh, so y'all gonna try us when we can't get to you, but we getting to you. And to me, that is protection. That is what it means to protect your community, to show up for your community no matter where they are. And I think Eminem did not have the highest selling album. Marshall Mathers LP was not the highest. I think he came in number 5.
no, I think he does have. I think he does have 2 or 3 of the top selling. I think one of those albums is the actual biggest selling.
This Marshall Mathers LP is the highest one that sold in 2000, but it's not the highest of all time. The highest of all time actually goes to what I'm looking at here is they have Tupac, they got Nelly. I think he comes in at like maybe 5 or something like that. The Beastie Boys, Lauryn Hill, Outkast.
Because I saw. Not to cut you off, Roller, but I did see something where he had like in the top 5. He had 3 of the top 5, and I think he had number 1.
His number 1 was the show.
He sold like 27 million, I think.
Yeah, the Eminem show, and the Eminem show. But no one really listens to him like that nowadays. So, but then that was back in 2002, right? So it's not to take anything from him for people who listen to him, but to be someone who is culturally not of the hip hop culture in the sense of how hip hop started and how rap came about and how he was brought in by Black people, Black men. You know, Dr. Dre brought him in, even in the where he's from, the people he hung around. He wasn't hanging around neo-Nazis rapping. You understand what I'm saying? He hung around black people. And then when he came out with that diss about black women and how he actually even led his life, and even in his music, even though it's dark, you could just tell, to me, it was like he never really fit in. So if he really wanted to like say what he really wanted to say, and it would come out like some, neo-Nazi, rap. But that wouldn't sell. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I take him for who he is. I see him for who he is, even in his lyrical ability. It's dark humor, it's dark experiences, how he even went out after, the mother of his children or whatever. It's kind of more to me like, all right, well, you was around for a few years or whatever, but who's really listening to you right now? The only people that champion you and give you air are black men and the young generation who keep your name alive. Because no white boys is running around here talking about someday they listen to Eminem. And white people are the biggest suppliers in the game of rap as far as buying the music, because most black people listen underground and everything else. So I'm gonna just put it out there like it is, the way I see it. And then he dissed Melly Mel. That was fucked up. So at the end of the day, I don't really have no, like, I'm not running out here trying to throw on Eminem's album so I can hear him, on my radio. That's not what it is. And it goes for all the other white rappers. I mean, Post Malone and the rest of them, I think they tried to follow suit. And I think the people who are pushing a lot of the rap music today and the artists that we see today are immigrants. And I think they're doing it as a replacement method to try to find their position in hip-hop or in rap so that they can say, okay, 10, 20, 30 years from now, history can rewrite itself. Paul Mooney was right. If we don't control the narrative, rap people gonna be thinking Eminem is the one that created rap music. I mean, that's essentially what they're trying to do, and that's not the case. So I'm definitely never ever going to give him that mantle and that shine. But as far as him being an artist, hats off to him, because he made his imprint, and you can't take that from him. I do want to also add, Alabama has been on a rise. Professor knows this. They've always had issues, and even to this day, there is a man down in Newborn, Alabama, who ran for office, and they have been trying to keep him out of even serving his people in Newborn. A woman by the name of Lakeisha, she's supporting the gentleman who had won his election, and her home was burnt down after she gave her interview on MSNBC to Al Sharpton. Her home, so she is a mother of 4. Shout out to baby sister and the supporters who have been supporting her, who have the full story. And hopefully we can get her and baby sister in a space, and the other woman who had came into the space with us the other night, to let us know that, Alabama is a powder keg, I think, waiting to happen. It is true that you need to protect yourself. That I do believe that, the white men, as it display on what happened at the boat, they are 17% in, I think, in the state. The state itself is 83% population of black people, but the white people are ready to commit domestic terrorism, as you can see. And I think that we have to be ready to help and support our family and our descendants down in Alabama as much as possible. So I'll post the story down below, but I just wanted to put that and lay that on the floor for everybody, because it's a serious situation. And I think the boat ride situation was just one of many that we were able to see. But for the ones that we're not able to see, like this case that I'm talking about, we need to be aware of them. So I'll end there.
All right. Thank you, Rella. Thank you. Let me read a comment real quick. And Miss Goddess, I'm going to get to you and Miss Eddings. I think Brooke, what was that comment you had? You saying, I know Brooke has said something. I know Knocker Ball said Suge Knight turned Death Row into $1 billion company. Brooke also said MC Hammer had a movie like primetime video release. That's right, for Too Legit to Quit on Fox. They gave Hammer. I remember that they gave Hammer the same kind of treatment they used to give Michael Jackson when he would have a world premiere video, and Fox would go ahead and air it or whatever live. So yeah, a lot of people saying a lot of crazy stuff, but about this. Uh, just my 4 cents. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. He says, "Wow, we black folks have now become the racists." I'm not sure if you're trying to say that we're racist because we got a discussion talking about Eminem, or you talking about the situation that happened in Alabama, but not entirely sure about that one. Also here on Twitter, we had Blue Bud, excuse me, say Eminem is a top selling rapper of all time. Everywhere I search, give him that. He is a top selling rapper of all time. I mean, I understand that he's a top selling rapper of all time. And all we're saying is, you know why he's a top selling rapper of all time? Because if he was not white, he would not be the top selling rapper of all time. Just to be honest, and that's no knock against his lyrical skills and whatever. But
Dr. Dre for producing that music too. That's why he a top seller.
yeah, that too. So yeah, the shock value, him being white, and everything else played a big part in him becoming the biggest selling rapper of all time. Let me also, like I say, guys, for those that's on here, go ahead and make sure you go ahead and you check out that poll in the Jumbotron on the left-hand side. Go ahead and vote in that poll. I think we was close to 600 votes. Let's go ahead and not only vote, but go ahead and retweet it out as well, too. Retweet it out as well. Goddess, how you doing tonight? Go ahead and unmute your mic. It's been a little minute since I heard from you. How you doing?
How you doing? Peace and blessings.
What's up?
I just wanted to say that video was very inspirational, and it's coming on the heels of, all the other things we've been hearing, what's going on in different parts of Alabama with the black man who was elected, and the sister house that got burned down, and some of the people that were in that town that couldn't vote for all those years. And so it's something. This is what we needed. It gives you a boost. And my family had been sitting around watching this video for probably at least 50 times already. We've just been playing it back like, it was watching the Mike Tyson fight. And so I'm going to be sharing this video with my nieces and nephews. It's going to be very educational, so that's just what I wanted to say about that. And as for Eminem, I really never liked Eminem. I really never listened to his music. I was more into Rakim and ISIS, and so I think that whatever hip hop award that they gave him, I think he should be stripped of that. And I think we should, I think we should let our people know that we should probably file some kind of, something legally against him to get him stripped of his title, because I don't think he deserves it. We should be able to pick the artists we want, and give the correct people the titles that deserve the titles. He shouldn't have the title. They're doing that on purpose to, discredit us. So that's how I feel about that.
Okay, thank you, sister, as always. I know, Brooke, I'll ask him that. Professor Brooke want to know if you know anything about the Alabama prison strike. But before you get to that, because we got Miss Eddings, let me get to Miss Eddings and Black Pressure, and then you can go ahead and let us know about that real quick, Professor, if you know anything that's going on. But Miss Eddings, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter, DJ, Professor, hey, family. I wanted to comment on the Riverfront Brawl. One thing that I wanted to say because I've been commenting about it all day. But earlier today, I walked into a space, and the space title said something like, "Did the last generation fail this, or some generation failed the other, the one after them?" And I had to say, I said, well, if you're referring to Gen X or if you're referring to the millennials, let me just say this: that young man who saw his uncle or saw and if it was me and I would see it, that is my uncle. That is everybody's uncle, and he was taught by another or older generation, or maybe his grandparents or his parents or whoever, his aunt and uncles. And so, no, we didn't fail them. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that happened with this whole thing. And I'm not trying to prop up this kid, but I'm just, y'all, I'm so happy right now. There was this post, and I posted it on my feed of this young man who he couldn't be no more than 18 or 19, talking about what happened in Montgomery and how he felt like he was a superhero. He felt so proud. He felt it. He's feeling what a lot of us in this space right now is feeling. And I want to contribute that to the ancestors. We definitely need to start gathering our young folks and just start talking to them, about what's going on, about the movement, about who they are, and we should take advantage of this opportunity because they feeling it too, and they don't even know what it is, but we can at least explain it to them. Explain. That young man he said, "I love black people." It was just amazing to just watch him. And as far as this whole Eminem thing, I don't want to comment on this Eminem thing. I teach hip hop history on the side, and just talking about anything like this, I'm waiting on all of any of the documentaries to come. I don't want people to think that he is I can't even talk about it. I'm sorry. Today was the first time that I heard that song that he wrote about black women. And from the cadence of how he was rapping, it sounded like it was somebody else's rhyme. And he took that rhyme and then he did it himself to a beat. It doesn't even sound like him or anything. It sounds like somebody else's writing. So I don't know. I'm done, but thank you so much for letting me speak. Shout out to you, Professor, out there in Alabama. And I'm gonna say this too. Y'all better leave these Alabama folks alone. When they come in with this energy, now you know where it comes from. My mama's family is from a place called Connecticut County. So that's where that energy comes from. And I love you all, and y'all have a good evening. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Miss Eddings. And both of my grandparents on my mother's side, they come from Alabama as well, too. So shout out to Alabama. Shout out to Alabama as well. Let me go ahead and also, I see my man Pressure up here. Pressure, I'm going to go ahead and get to you. Also, guys, it is Black Business Month. For those that want to support a black business, think about making a donation, possibly for those that's able to Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Make sure you guys visit newstoter.com daily to stay up to date on breaking black news as well, too. So if you guys have not visited newstoter.com, make that a daily habit. We're like the encyclopedia of black news, so we will keep you up to date on breaking content. So once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter for anybody that's able to make a donation. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. For those that do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron as well too. I can't wait to hear what Black Pressure and Original gonna say. Now I know Black Pressure, he'll say his real quick. Black Pressure, like he gonna say a couple little things and then he gonna be out. So, Pressure, what you got to say tonight, man? Because I'm definitely interested to hear what you got to say.
What's up, fam? How y'all doing?
What's up?
News, right? DJ, Professor, real, regular roster. What's going on? So check this out. I'm gonna keep it short. All right. We'll talk about Eminem. If we really want to be brutally honest about Eminem, and you've been hearing it for 20 years, nothing he does, and I'm talking strictly record sales, nothing he does is impressive to me because his competition has always been a dead man. Every time you bring up record sales, it was like, what has Tupac sold compared to what has Eminem sold? That man been dead for damn near 30 years now, and you still talking about, oh, he's the highest selling rapper, he's a highest selling rapper. Look, if you put me in a 100-yard dash versus a dead man, I'm gonna win every time. So like I said, that shit don't impress me. His album sales don't impress me. If the person that was his main competition would have still been living, you would have never heard that white boy's name, and I'll mute up the list.
See, I told you, Pressure. I knew it was going to be short, sweet, and to the point. Like, and you're right. I mean, Tupac would be the biggest selling rapper of all time had Eminem not come. But also, you have to factor in what it is as well too. Eminem, and this is not to take a swipe at his talent, but Eminem is white. Let's be for real. When you look at the jersey sales in the NFL and in different sport leagues and everything else, when you look at the movies and stuff, well, yeah, the country's predominantly white. So, of course, they're going to go ahead and they see one of their own up there, they're going to go ahead and support him. So, no disrespect. I'm not taking anything away from what he's accomplished, but let's be for real. If you reverse that and the country was predominantly black and black people had the economic power and everything else, then, the biggest movie sales and everything else would be all black. I mean, and I told this one cat, I got into it with on Twitter. He was telling me about, well, Michael Jordan was the third most famous person in the world. And, he was black. I said, listen, man, if Michael Jordan was a white man, Michael Jordan would be 2-3 times bigger than what he is right now. Are you trying to say that Michael Jordan, if he was white, he'd be even bigger? Like, white people like to play stupid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if Michael Jordan was a white man, I'm saying if Muhammad Ali had been a white man, I'm saying if a lot of these if Michael Jackson had been born a white person and they had the exact same talent level that they had as black people, hell yeah, they'd be 2-3 times bigger than what they already are. If Michael Jordan was a damn white man and Muhammad Ali was a white man, you're talking about they'd be worth tens of billions of dollars. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about exactly. If Whitney Houston was a white woman and could have sung the way she sung, yeah, you're damn right. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't take a genius to realize that. And that's what I'm saying. You can't really have a honest discussion with them because they're going to sit up here and play, I don't know about that. Yeah, you do know about that. You do know exactly what I'm talking about. You can play stupid all you want to, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Original. Let me give a shout out real quick. Thank you to Gene. Gene, thank you for your donation on Cash App as well, too. But let me go ahead and get to Original. And I see my girl Trouble getting ready to come up here as well, too. So I'm going to get Trouble up here as well. Go ahead, Original. How you doing tonight?
Greetings, everybody. Peace, Alabama Black Power, and lineage-based reparations. And let me say this. Both my parents, my father was born in Hopewell, Alabama. My mother was born in Randolph County, Alabama. So I got some of that Bama beat up in me, too. But let me say this, though. Newstoter, you mentioned about when rap took over country music. Now, and I thought about this. I said, wait a minute now, but what some people fail to realize is this. I don't know if you're aware of this, Newstoter. See, when rap took over country, became the biggest selling genre, that's when they had digitized the record sales, because, see, prior to that, they were like, these record stores had to report the sales of which song, which album was, the top seller of the week or whatever, right? And they were lying. The black music has always sold, because it doesn't get any better than black. But when they digitize it and they start tracking it digitally, that's when rap just skyrocketed and pushed country music out of the way. This was like a
mid to late 90s. Might have been early 2000 when that happened. So that's one of the reasons. But as we know, how these parasites conduct themselves, they were still, lie, steep, and chill to try to make themselves look good. So and as far as Eminem, I never paid him any attention anyway. He was one of those, he was just because, and I'll be honest, just because he was white. I don't really do. Where I used to buy my records and my CDs in California, these two brothers, and they knew their craft backwards and forward. But it was like they had to pull teeth. They was like, they knew I liked jazz and R&B and stuff, but they had to pull teeth. They said, well, you ought to just try something. That's white. But I remember sometime I would see like a white artist, like, well, I don't do them because they're white. I mean, that's how I grew up. I grew up listening to black music played by black people. There was no mixing things up. And so, but they finally I thought some of the CDs that they had, they were okay, but like I said, it don't get any better than black. Now, as far as the, what I want to say about the Alabama situation too, and Professor, you might want to speak on this as well. Now, let's not forget, people, that black mayor of Montgomery, because this happened in Montgomery, right? That black mayor in Montgomery, y'all remember when that article came out where he said that he wasn't concerned about the black vote as long as he got that certain percentage of the white vote, he didn't give a damn. And so that has to be addressed too, because a lot of stuff that happened to our people in these different parts of the country is because these black elected officials have abandoned them. And I want to see just exactly how this little black boy that's the mayor over there in Montgomery, how he's going to react to this, and how what he's going to say about our brothers and sisters that have to go in there and do some, as they say, do some straightening. Because he ain't no good. He is not with us. He is not one of us. So I want to put that out there. But yeah, but I was telling people all day long, I know people would call the little brother Aquaman and this. I said, I ain't called this brother out his name. I said, this brother, he stood up and he did what a lot of men older than him who was there did not do. They had their phone. I mean, the situation has to be filmed. But see, the sister should have been doing the filming. All the men that were there standing around, all the men older than he was, they should have been down there mixing it, straightening things out, instead of sitting up there with their phone. That should have been the sister's job. And they should have been out there filming. They should have been down there fighting and making sure that everybody was good. But yeah, like y'all said earlier, watch these old crazy ass white folk. These parasites, there's nothing good about them. And like you said, Newstoter, they will try to go after women and children, but it can get real nasty because, like I tell people, black people are armed, and we know how to take care of things too. So you can act crazy if you want to, cause just like you got the crap beat out of you on Saturday. Oh, and also Newstoter, my cousin, who's from Alabama, he didn't find out about that until today. His daughter lives in Birmingham, and his brother still lives down there in Lynette. And so they called him. He didn't hear about it, but I did see it on ABC News. But see, I haven't seen it on any other newscast. And I think the reason is because black folks kicked that. If black folks had gotten beat up, this would have been all over the cable news networks and everything. But because black folks kicked ass, they're limiting the amount of exposure that it's receiving. And see, this is why social media and broadcasts like this are so important. Because see, these other white news outlets or whatever, because if you look at it technically, it's social media that's really reporting the news, not these major so-called news stations and cable news or whatever. They're just like robots. They're just doing, they're doing perception management. So I just wanted to share that. But yeah, like I said, I was proud to see those brothers and sisters stand up and kick some ass. That's the way it should be. And like who that said that about the about that song about the small town? Yeah, they just got that small town just got their ass handed to them in our land.
Yeah, that was Jason Elgin. He was a top country singer. I like his music, but this one, Jason Elgin made this song for the wrong goddamn reason, and it turned him backfired on him.
All right. Greg, just for the record, just go ahead and if you want to speak, go ahead and raise your hand. Let me read this comment real quick off of YouTube, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to my girl Trouble, and I'm gonna get to no taxation and Rella, but just my 4 cents. What's going on? Because it seems like you're a little bit angry about this. By Eminem being up in the topic. Before you was talking about we black folks are racist. Now you said was not MC Search white. Why didn't he sell like Eminem? Well, maybe Eminem was better than MC Search. Maybe MC Search didn't have Dr. Dre behind him producing his music. Vanilla Ice sold a lot of with that Ice Ice Baby. He was white, so it was an actual. And I remember Eminem kind of dissing Vanilla Ice to make sure it was a distinction between him and the other one. So apparently, before you had a white man that was able to go up there, and Vanilla Ice went diamond with his album. So it was kind of like, it's not like it hadn't been seen before. Now, of course, Vanilla Ice wasn't as good as Eminem. I'm definitely not saying that, but let's not sit up here and act like you didn't have a white rapper sell before him, because you did. So it is what it is, but I can see you a little bit butthurt about this Eminem thing as well. Nobody's not sitting up here. I'm not saying that Eminem's trash or he's garbage or this or that or whatever. I'm saying like a lot of white people in this country, when they're good at something, the media's going to let you know that they're good at it. No disrespect. Larry Bird was one of the best basketball players that ever lived. I will be the first to say that. Larry Bird also won 3 back-to-back-to-back MVPs. You have to go back all the way to, I believe, when Wilt Chamberlain played to see another player that won 3 straight MVPs. That means Michael Jordan wins 3 straight MVPs. Magic Johnson win 3 straight MVPs. Dr. J win 3 straight MVPs. Moses Malone win 3 straight MVPs. LeBron James win 3 straight MVPs. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was a leading scorer in the NBA up until this year when LeBron passed him, he didn't win 3 straight MVPs. So, yeah, nobody's taking away anything that these guys accomplished. But we're saying that when you're white and you are really good or great in this country, trust me, you have all kind of cachet available to you. And like I say, Larry Bird is one of the top players of all time. I don't have a problem with anybody putting Larry Bird as a top 10 player because Larry Bird was an assassin out there on the court. But I'm saying if Larry Bird can win 3 straight MVPs, then Kareem could have won 3 straight. Magic could have won 3 straight. LeBron James, Kareem, a whole host of other players could have won 3 straight MVPs. So get out of here, man.
Hey, News, if Larry Bird played today, he'd be a 6-man going 7.
Nah, hell no. I see that big slow the boy, what's his name? Joker. If Joker could light the NBA up like that, Larry Bird would light him up as well too. I ain't gonna diss Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a badass player, and there's a bunch of scrubs I see. Nah,
I ain't dipping him, but he ain't starting over these cats today.
Yeah, he started. Larry Bird was 6'9" and can pass the ball and can shoot and rebound. He's starting over a lot of them today, cause straight up
He couldn't stay in front of nobody today. He'd be like a concrete and sand.
Pressure. They don't play. It's a reason they averaging 135 points per game. They play no defense.
They play ISO ball.
Yeah. And ISO Bird will take the ball and he'll shoot it right over their ass, left and right. Like I'm gonna give credit where credit due. Like Djokovic ain't no great defensive player, and he's playing. Like, hey, I know he's a center, but he ain't no great defensive player.
I'll take you to put it like this: take Jokic, go back 25 years, and put him in the blocks with Akeem, and what's gonna happen?
Akeem gonna abuse him. Shaq gonna abuse him. Chamberlain gonna abuse him. Wilt gonna abuse him. Kareem gonna abuse him. Patrick Ewing gonna abuse him. David Robinson gonna abuse him. Hell, Brad Daugherty gonna abuse him. I ain't disagreeing, but I'm saying there's certain players that can play in any era. And like I say, Larry Bird, he was white. Larry Bird could play in any era. That's like people say, well, Magic Johnson, please. Magic wasn't a great defender, but Magic would be slicing and dicing folks up if he was playing today. Period. A 6'9" point guard, he would dominate in any era. Jordan would dominate any era. Kobe, LeBron would dominate any era. Iverson would be dominant in any era. You just got certain players like that. But I'm just saying Bird also too benefited from the fact that he was a white athlete. And because he was a great player, they made him until he was God. And that's not, and I remember when Isaiah Thomas said something, no, Dennis Rodman said something about if he was black, he'd just be another player. And Isaiah Thomas kind of backed it up. Well, the media got pissed with Isaiah Thomas. The media from that day forth hated Isaiah Thomas, what he said about Larry Bird. So that just, it is what it is. Like I say, Bird was one of the greatest players I ever seen. I caught towards the tail end of his career, but he was one of the greatest players I ever seen. But with that said, there were other great players. If Magic Johnson didn't start winning MVP, so after Larry Bird won his last one, and it was always perceived by especially the white media that Larry Bird was a better player than Magic Johnson. That Larry Bird was the quintessential bring your lunchbox type player, and his IQ was in the clouds, and Magic was a great player, but Magic also was athletically inclined. He was physically gifted. When they start throwing cold words like that, they're trying to say that, hey, this other person is a hard worker and they got that off of dedication and their hard work, while the other one is just naturally gifted, and he didn't have to try as hard because he just has a physical intangibles and all this other nonsense. I've been watching sports since I was 4, 5 years old, especially when it came to black quarterbacks. Oh, he's an athlete playing quarterback. And then the white boy, he's so cerebral, and he's a son of a coach, and he knows the playbook by the back of his hand. Like, just all kind of coded nonsense that they say in sports and stuff like that. So, but I'll give Bird his due. Bird was a monster. I would say that Bird would be able to play today, because I see too many sorry ones playing today. It's no way that he would be pulling these boys' sack out through their throats. I see the way the defense is set up in the NBA. It could be ISO and all that other stuff. He's going to crap on most of them. And most of the superstars from the past era would crap on these guys as well, too. Not to say you don't got great players today. Curry, Steph Curry will be great in any era. What's his name? Giannis would be great in any era. But, I got to give credit. I believe Bird was better in his field than Eminem was better in his. That's just my personal opinion. But let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight, sister?
Hey, Newstoter, great to see you back up in the cut.
Yeah, we came back officially yesterday. Glad to be back, sister.
Most definitely. You was definitely missed the whole week. I know I missed me some of you. I didn't know you was on Sunday. My birthday was on Friday, so my kids had me doing something in celebration every night since Friday.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
You know, we gotta sing the black version of the happy birthday song.
Yeah, I haven't celebrated my birthday in years, but my kids made sure every night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they had mama entertained. So, I tried to get online a little bit, man. I didn't even get my homework done. But my professor, shout out to her, she gave me a couple of days worth of grace to get it in without missing any points. But anyhow, I'm really glad to see you back, and I hope you had a wonderful vacation. So, Eminem is a guest. He is always going to be a guest, and he better feel freaking honored to be a guest, because at any time us black folks don't want you to be a guest. And there comes a time frame when you got to go. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. And most white people who make it within black culture or anything that has anything to do with us where we excel at, they only get to that position because we uplift them to that position. And so had it not been for black folks co-signing Eminem, and to begin with, he would have never have been in a position to make the money that he does. And it's sort of like when, for a long time we see, white people or white kids online dancing to black music, and we all ooh and ah, and oh, look at them, they tearing it up. They got a little bit of rhythm, because we ain't used to y'all having no rhythm. But we're still in a place, we were in a place like that. And just like homeboy that keeps coming inside of your comments, making, comments about, oh, Eminem is the rap god, we got to stop uplift. We got to stop giving away the culture. We give away the culture a little bit too easily to people who come in that form, and then make them above all of the rest, all of the greats that we've had in hip hop. So how are you going to come into a house that was already built and then then make yourself the god of that house. And that's what colonizers do. You come inside somebody's house and you take over the house, and everything in that house is now yours. Well, we got to stop allowing that to happen. And it goes hand in hand with both the political things that goes on when we have black mayors like the one you all were just talking about in Alabama, where he gets up there and so boldly says that, oh, well, I got the white folks. I ain't concentrating on the black folks. Well, we got to shut it down. We got to shut people like him down. We got to shut people like Eminem down. And we got to shut these Negroes down who's always put these crackers above the rest. And it's getting to be a little bit tiresome because I argue with more black people about Eminem than I argue with white folks. I don't argue with white folks about Eminem. It's always somebody black that wants to place Eminem above everybody else. Okay, the brother got a little bit of skill set, but baby, I can't name more than one or two of his songs. Now, I ain't saying I don't like Eminem, but he's not my go-to. I don't be riding down the street like, yo, what's up with that new Eminem? Anybody heard that new Eminem? He's not my go-to. And the only reason why I got into Eminem to begin with is because he linked up with Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre was creating the bomb-ass beats to make his music sound worth a damn. I mean, so when it comes to people like Eminem, once black people put our stamp of approval on them, then white folks know that they cool. And so then they go out and they spend their money on what's cool because they got black folks' stamp of approval. So they spending money. And when it comes to somebody like MC Search was okay, but he didn't have that commercialism about him. He wasn't going on all of the coats like certain other ones, like, say, the Beastie Boys. We also gave Beastie Boys their stamp of approval because we was all up in the cut talking about some brass, monkey, chunky, and it funky. Something about Paul Revere. I mean, the beat was, it was popping. Eminem, Vanilla Ice, he had that one song. I don't know nothing else about Vanilla Ice other than that one song, Ice Baby. He had that commercialism. They had him in the movies. You heard that song in movies. You heard that song on commercials. And the same thing with the Beastie Boys. So anybody who got that stamp of approval from black people, if they went international because of that one reason, and then they was also in movies and then on commercials with certain ones of their songs. So let's stop acting like Eminem is some rap god that built something and created something. He just another white boy. He got our stamp of approval, and we could pull that stamp at any point in time. We just gotta shut these Negroes down. We keep trying to make it seem like, oh well, y'all gotta stop being racist towards Master. Man, if you don't get your so-and-so tail up out of here, the Riverfront ball, baby, let me tell you. I was so happy when I seen that. I had to watch it about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times just so I could go back. My husband had seen the videos. When I shot him the video, homeboy was laughing. He went from laughing to crying tears because he was laughing so hard. And he was like, oh my God, I'm in here snotting and carried on. No, baby, don't do all of that now. But he was so proud of that. And it was funny because just the day before we was talking about the state of Black America, what we needed to do. And I always tell y'all he's an Israelite, so he always speaks on that level. And he was just telling me, just the day before I seen the video, he was like, black folks gonna come together and we gonna start whooping up on some of these ass. Damn all of this, video recording the videos and stuff. When these folks start seeing us whoop up on some ass and all it's gonna take is for one of us to break out, and kick it off and ABN and sin. So we were just speaking on that the day before. Then we watched the video, and that's why he was so proud, because he was like, I told you, didn't I tell you the Most High? You got to wait on the Most High. He know what he's doing, and so it was beautiful. I love it. The commentary on the video was beautiful. I've always said when I see these videos and the white women always run their little stank asses up in the cut, where's the sisters at? Baby, the sisters showed up and went to hamming up on them, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I think I was doing more than the commentator was, because I was like, now see, that's what I'm talking about. I was like, yo, my kids came in here like, Mama, what's wrong with you? I'm like, yeah. I was acting a fool. But I seen it was a video some brother put out. And of course, we always have the negative Nancy people who jump inside the space and want to say, oh, well, this wasn't exactly revolutionary, and you all should be doing better than this rather than, try to make it seem like this was some great thing. we can never have a moment of just joy when we see something like this without somebody coming in and trying to make it seem like we need to get back in line and do things the loving and kind way, and we done did that. We done been there and we done did that. We need new tactics, and I think the ass whooping tactics is a very good one. You know, it made me feel very good. You know, so but there's always gonna be these people who say, "Oh, well, you can't be righteous." Oh, we can be righteous, you know, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know, we could be intellectual about it. We can have conversations with you all about it. You know, but like my mama used to always say, a hard head make a soft ass. So when you ain't getting lessons and I done talked to you to death, I'm tired of talking. Now I gotta get the belt out. Now I gotta get these switches up off these trees tied together. You know, braid them together in time with the bread wrap. You know what I'm saying? Set that ass out the frame, and maybe you get the lesson I was trying to talk to you about. And that's the same thing these other people gotta get to. We can talk to you. You can learn the easy way or the hard way. You could learn the easy way. You can learn with the chair. Which one? Which way you want to get it? You know what I'm saying? You want to have a conversation, and you want me to whip out that chair. Or you want me to throw that hat up in the air and whip out the chair. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. That's all I want to say is I love that. And it's of course there's always going to be backlash, and you know, I mean it is what it is, and I say just take this moment of joy for what it is. Someone said earlier in the space that okay, they use that moment to say, well, you know, they not ready for a race war, and I don't even think we should necessarily be talking about that or thinking about that on that level. You know, they got some of them who can fight, and some of them who can't. The ones who was on that boat, they just can't. They just happen to not be able to fight. And we all know when they talk about race wars, they're not talking about coming up off them guns. I mean, up off the hands. They talking about coming with their guns, because that's the only way that they can truly defeat us and beat us right now, is because they got the blessing of the weapon. You know, but when it comes to coming up off them hands, if all of us stop being scared for a moment, that's something that they might not be ready for. But this is his house right now, for now, you know. And so they got the blessings of the Western weapons, and so that's generally how they come at us. And if not with the weapons, their weapons take place in many forms. You know, that shrapnel, that gunpowder, and also on political levels. So we still have to do what it is that we have to do politically, and on every other aspect. But my people, I say, just take this moment and relish in it and enjoy it. It is what it is. We don't have to think too deep on it as far as race wars and everything else that you know everybody else wants to talk about and bring to the forefront. Just enjoy the moment. That's all. Much love, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Trouble. Let me go ahead and get to no taxation. No taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, News, you glad to be back?
Yeah, I actually am. I'm glad to be back. I actually was when I was on vacation, thought about doing the space. I was like, well, let me go ahead and relax. So
Yeah, unplug. It's good to unplug. Everybody got to unplug. First thing I want to say is don't let me go behind Trouble, because first of all, y'all know Trouble's going to come out here and throw all these different pearls of wisdom and stuff, and she's going to say it in such a way. And let somebody else wear Bobo. Let him go. Don't make me come behind Trouble. Shoot, Trouble, no, she be on it. Hi, everybody in the room. Well, I guess it took some silly white people on a pontoon boat down in Alabama, down in Montgomery, Alabama, to unite us. Thank God. Okay. I'm happy that everybody was happy. That's why I'm happy. And I'm kind of like Trouble. You know, I was a little bit more on the Malcolm X side, and my parents did not. They did not push that. In fact, they had to hold me back, but they didn't. They never disrespected Malcolm or Martin in our household. They were both revered. So I get it honest. Listen, Eminem, I don't even know why he was topic of conversation if he wasn't no truth about it. I think he did this so he could be a topic of conversation, because ain't nobody checking for Eminem. Not for real. I don't even think them little kids is checking for Eminem because don't they be on TikTok? Unless he's on TikTok, they don't know him. So I don't know where his new people, his other people have aged out, and I guess they listen to his old stuff. I was never a fan, and and probably I wasn't a fan for the wrong reasons. And they did extend a hand to him. Dre brought him in, and he is a guest because he had to get a way in. But however, he overstayed his welcome, or somebody made him too comfortable. I don't know which one it is, and time will tell. But he shouldn't. His lips should have never been parted to say anything like that. And I did see that video where everybody said it was attributed to him, and I looked back, and when I got to the end of my journey, looking back to see was it really him, because it didn't sound like him. It had somebody else's name on it. And I didn't even tweet that because, hey, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Take your lumps. Now the thing down in Montgomery, it's a paradigm shift for us. Black folks have shifted, not just black people, but the nation. That's why they, like Original said, he didn't hear anything. I couldn't check on the news because I was doing something else. So I'm glad this is why it is important, Newstoter, for us to have these spaces, especially you, and talking about the news, because I couldn't check the news today to see if it was picked up. And I'm still going to check tonight throughout the day, and probably within the next 48 hours, because it needs to be picked up. Why? Because a white boy family would not move their pontoon boat, let's call it what it is, a flat bottom boat, for the Harriet. You see, they changed the E to the O, same thing. So, and the Harriet pays for that. That's their parking place. That's where they do business. So who are these white boys? Some white boys that they overstayed their welcome, and then they messed around and found out they weren't going to be welcome down there because black folks is mad. I don't think y'all understand. Standing in Montgomery in the heat, ain't no shade down there. Y'all don't understand. It's hot. Ain't nobody, people ain't got time for all of that. It's just like somebody holding up traffic on the sidewalk in New York. If you walk, and if you're from New York, you got to move. People in New York, that don't mess with that sidewalk and stop. And you get run over. And they'll tell you something and say something to you. Get to the side. People got places to go and things to do. And it's the same situation with that. And then white boys thought they got it like that because they got a little business down there in Selma where they ran me out of when I was the only person down there that was protesting. And I was protesting against Hillary Clinton. She didn't show, but her husband did. And Obama and somebody else. Al Sharpton, the crew. And them black folks ran me out of here. That's why the white boys thought they could do that. You got a business in Selma, and if you running me out, and this is at the bridge crossing, where everybody used to, where people got hit in the head. You think I ain't got no right to go down there and protest? Come on now. All I was doing was holding up a sign. But anyway, so yeah, that's why they didn't have to move it. They saw them black folks on the walkway going down to the docks and that ship coming up and all them black folks hanging out on there. Yeah, they not moving nothing. They got moved though. So, and that's the end of that. And if that's what it takes to do a paradigm shift, then that's what it is. And Montgomery has done that for us before with the Montgomery bus boycott, where they stayed off the bus for a whole year. And that's why people are able around the country to go get on the bus and sit wherever the fuck they want. So, that's what we're dealing with, and that's where we're at in this country. And if it took that to bring us together, especially there's so many workers out here that people don't even know about. It's a lot of people talking, but it's a lot walking too. And it encourages them because we have not been acting nicely toward one another in a united way. And so if this is what it takes as a reminder to say, here's the kind of people that you are,
not what white folks are portraying you to be. Next boy, and like I told, who was that I told today? Professor or somebody. I said, I'm the one with the chair, because they said that man was 65. See, I'm older than 65, and I decided I would
Just said that to me. I thought that was so funny, but it's so true.
Listen, when you get to be a certain age, baby, you can't do all that fighting. Get you a little old weapon. You understand what I'm saying? Get you something. You can't be out there. Now, see, the police, he was the first one to get arrested. That would have been me. Okay? Let's just go on and cuff me up, because I'm not going to play fair. Okay? And so, and I admire him, but I'm glad that he did it. He needed to do it. And that's probably the one that they're going to really charge him. But because it is considered a weapon of heaven. So we're gonna hope that he don't have anything on the record but that, and they'll have to let him go. So, but anyway, I'm glad that it brought y'all together. I want y'all to be happy, because you need some joy in your life. And this is what it takes. That's what it takes. So now that there's a shift, let's just shift with it. And remember just to be kind to one another. You know? And let people think and be freely without judgment, because it don't directly affect you. And remember that we're united as a community, we're united as a people, but we're still individuals. Accept that from each other, you know, and just let shit be. We ain't got to get on the dock and fight all the time. But sometimes we do. But we ain't got to do it with each other. Do it to the enemy. And so I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm glad you're back, Nate.
Thank you, sister. I'm glad to be back. Like I said, I saw a bunch of breaking news last week and stuff, and I want to do some spaces, but I was out of town visiting family, so just pretty much having a good time being around family. But I definitely was glad. That's why I did a space yesterday. I was like, well, let me go ahead and get back into the swing of it and do a Sunday night space, even though we don't normally do Sunday night spaces. But I said, hey, let me go ahead and get it rolling, at least get the ball back rolling. So here we are once again back in our spaces, and shout out to everybody that's up in the space as well too, guys. Make sure you go ahead and retweet out the space. I see a number of you have retweeted it out, but definitely go ahead and retweet the space out as well too. So anybody who doesn't get a chance to listen, they can go ahead and catch the recording, because this is recorded as always. So also for those in the space that have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The link is up in the Jumbotron. I believe it's the middle one. So just definitely, if you have not subscribed, you can do that while the space is actually going. Once again, for those that want to donate and support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the ultimate curator and the largest curator of Black news today in America. Once again, $Newstoter. For those that do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal. And also, we also do have the Twitter membership as well, $3 a month. Anybody that wants to support Newstoter on Twitter is $3 a month. Just go to the actual profile page and you can subscribe that way. Matter of fact, one of our subscribers just got through speaking, Miss No Taxation. So shout out to her for being a subscriber as well too. Shout out to Black Majority State. I see him up in the space as well too. Shout out to Denise, Aunt Lai, a whole bunch of y'all up in here. Val, I see a bunch of y'all. I see Talent is up in here as well too. So yeah, man, don't be afraid to come on up here, because I know all y'all can talk. So definitely come on up here for those that want to speak tonight. Let me go ahead and get it to and for those on YouTube, make sure you guys go ahead and share, like, subscribe to the actual YouTube page as well too. Make sure you guys go ahead, for those on YouTube, subscribe, share, like, comment, all that good stuff. Let me go ahead. Brother, I'm gonna get to you. Let me get to Leon, because he hasn't had a chance to speak. So let me get to Leon real quick. Leon, what's going on with you tonight?
Thank you, Newstoter, and welcome back as well.
Appreciate it.
You on a minute, so now I know you was on vacation. You had to, unplug, so that's good, man. Because sometimes we all need to unplug.
Yeah, it was well needed here.
But get to the topic. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I saw this about the yo, that was in my spirits, man, seeing that. And it's funny, I was actually away myself. And I was actually in Pittsburgh when all this went down. That was kind of the first thing that I saw was it was a still photo of a white guy getting arrested, and he had Crocs on, and the Crocs were ripped open. They were up to his calves. I'm saying, what the hell was this all about? To come to find out, I kept doing more research. It was from that Brawl. Like, and then I started seeing the videos and I'm like, man, that was a beautiful thing. Very beautiful thing. I mean, come on, everybody. You know that was a beautiful thing. That set in our spirits so much. We had so much joy seeing how that went down. And shout out to that young brother, too. The one that swam across the dam. Yo, I mean, I know they call him Michael B. Phelps now, Aquaman, and all these other swimming names, other swimming names. But yo, shout out to that young brother. And I tell you what, man, he has some speed because I had to watch him about twice, about 2-3 times, and I'm just seeing him swimming. I'm like, that young brother ain't no joke. I mean, he actually should be on the Olympic team, to be honest with you, because that's how quick he was going. But he got over there, and then not only that, he got over there, got one of them cockers oil and did the body slam on his ass. I was dying.
Hey, but not only that, Leon, but he down here in the South, and Professor could tell you, I don't know about the Gators in Alabama, but hell, we infested with them here in Florida. So it's like,
wow, I didn't know that, man. But yo, shout outs to him. Well, you know, the Gators ain't gonna bother him, man, because ancestors was there. You know what I'm saying? It's like Moses parting the Red Sea. The Gators gonna part away to make sure that brother get over there and handle his business for his people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how the ancestors roll. And shout out to that brother, the elder with the chair, the infamous chair. I mean, I've been seeing and hearing a lot of people, or even Tariq talking about he wants somebody to find that chair so he can put it in the museum and stuff. I was cracking up, but I'm like, you know what? That chair is a symbolic thing that happened at that event now. And it's going to be a symbolic thing. So every time you think of that incident, you're always going to think of that chair. And that brother handled his business. He whacked the dude and he whacked Ken and Karen. When after Karen whacked her and he whacked Ken too, I was like, damn. They come back more. Shout out to the sisters. Because I seen one, the cocky sword trying to get his swings on the sister. Then I saw 2 more sisters came in and started kicking his ass. Excuse my language. And then one of them wound up throwing the other can in the water. I was like, oh, okay. That's what I'm talking about. And then there was another video. I don't know if y'all saw this. The 2 got backed up. And the other 2, they wound up going and jumped in the damn water. They like, we ain't having none of this. They fled in the water, man. In the water. No. But yeah, man. I ain't gonna say much about Eminem because all y'all hit it. I ain't got nothing to say about him because what y'all said is what I agree with. He's just a guest. Always been a guest, always will be a guest, and there'll be others like him that replace him, just like anything else. So, I'll land there.
all right. Thank you, Leon. It's always good to hear from you. Let me go ahead and get to Rella. Rella, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thanks, Newstoter. It's good to hear from Leon. It's definitely good to hear from a lot of people we haven't heard from in a while. I want to say, again, no one has, and I agree with Trouble, and definitely shout out to No Taxation. Nobody's got Eminem's album singles in rotation. Like, I don't think, and even if you do, that's cool, but on a massive scale, nah. Like, I think, from what I have been reading since you guys was talking, his singles, he only has, I think, a couple of singles, not albums, it says singles, from those albums that went gold and platinum. And most of those came from when he did his halftime show during the Super Bowl with all the other rappers as he was on there. And then that's when, you know, his records and stuff, his units shot up. But again, it's not taking nothing from him, but nobody is listening. Nobody is putting Eminem on rotation like that. That's not, and I agree with Trouble. Ain't nobody like running down the street bumping Marshall Mathers on blast. They're not getting hyped to Marshall Mathers to do anything. So, yeah, no. And like I said, everybody just keep your head on the swivel. You know, we got to really keep Alabama encouraged. I did have some other things, but I forgot. So that's really all I got.
All right. Thank you. As always, let me give a shout out to my man Black Delegation as well too. He just became a subscriber, so shout out to Black Delegation. Appreciate you as always, bro. Let me go ahead and get to we got Denise. She's coming up, and let me go ahead and approve her. She already you approved it. Let me go ahead, DJ, because you hadn't had a chance to speak, Professor. We get the professor, but go ahead, DJ. I see you just got back up here, so go ahead.
Hey, nah, let Professor speak. So I'm actually on the roll. I'll talk right after him.
No, okay. And Professor, too, when you get a chance to speak, because I know Brooke, I'm not sure if she's still in the YouTube chat, but she wanted to know if you heard anything about something about the prisons up there. I'm sorry, Brooke. She said the Alabama prison strike. Have you heard anything about that as well, Professor?
Yeah, Brooke. At one time, Alabama had a prison strike last year, the latter part of last year. We're talking about around September, October, November. They had issues going on where there was demands being made by members of the workers' kitchen staff, so to speak. There was demands being made by those people. Nothing to do per se with the inmates, but this was more like people that work within the lower staff, if you want to just call it that, people that work in the kitchens, you know, and do maintenance, you know, those people. So they had that strike, and that strike, I think, quickly ended like the middle part of October. It didn't last very long. As far as any inmate strikes, that's not going on at this point in time. And as a matter of fact, Alabama right now, the only thing that they trying to do with that COVID money, and you know, Alabama had like over $400 million of COVID money. They taking some of that to build these 2 new state-of-the-art prisons. So they the only thing they thinking about doing is locking more people up with COVID money that should have been used for social programs and different things to help the community. But this is what we have in Alabama. We have this governor, Kay Ivey, who ain't nothing but trash her damn self, and she goes right along with the good old boys right in Alabama, and that's what Newstoter was just talking about earlier. Why these southern states are the way they are, because look who we have in the leadership positions. And we see this happening right now with Florida, with that no good Ron DeSantis down there. We see it over in Georgia. We see it in Mississippi. These Republicans control these states. And I'm not saying the Democrats are any better, but these Republicans, they truly let you know what they all about. And but there is no strikes going on with the inmates, but there was a strike like the latter part of 2022 for us, like the kitchen staff and, you know, people in the maintenance departments and, you know, things like that. Getting back to this whole thing with Eminem, he's not worth talking about, to be honest with you, because this dude has made his living on black culture, and he can thank Dr. Dre. Hell, he can even thank 50 Cent. So there you go. That's all I have to say about Marshall Mathers. What he can do is go back to that place called 8 Mile. if it's still up there. I don't know if 8 Mile still exists, but anyway, that's what I think of him. He's not worth talking about, so I'm gonna move on from that. But getting back to the young man, Aquaman, the black Aquaman, the young 16-year-old Aaron. This is a brother, I want to say family, that has sparked the community. And I want to take you back. Remember, there was a young lady by the name of Rosa Parks that sparked the movement. Okay? And it was actually a young lady before her. But unfortunately, that young lady didn't get the credit. They used Rosa Parks as part of the movement, as the face of the movement, to do the bus boycotts. And so we got this situation with this young man, Aaron. As we see right now, it seems like this young man has now become a face to spark a new revolution. Okay? And it's amazing that it took a 16-year-old to swim 500 feet across to the bank down at the riverfront to help a fellow black American person, man, an elder. It took that for every other black person to say, you know what, we got to get in on this. If that young man can do what he do, then all the rest of us need to get in too. And that's what I'm talking about. And like Willa said, it was another brother before the young brother got across the water there. It was another young brother that had ran down the stairs that had got down there before to try to pull those caucasours off the black security guy. And he wasn't actually, I don't think he was actually throwing punches with them, but he was pulling them off of the guy to make sure that they didn't do any more harm. But then when the young brother got on that bank, he went in on him. See, that's what I like. He went in on him. He said, shit, I'm going to just go in on him. Because, hey, that's what it comes down to, man. That's what it's going to take with these folks. We're going to have to go in on them, y'all. We got to let them know that we can't tolerate any more you just thinking you can come in and do what you want to do to us. So shout out to Aaron. Shout out to the young brother that ran down the stairs to also help the security guy. And just shout out to everybody, man. I think this whole situation with the video is being watched by everybody, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm looking at all the comments out here. Everybody talking about it. Everybody talking about it. White folks are trying to hide it, y'all. I don't know if y'all know now. They've been showing little bits and pieces of it on the news, but they don't want to show the whole thing. And they scared to show the whole thing because when you show all of the video, what do you see? You see black women beating up on them Karens, taking them out. You see the brothers taking the white boys out. And you see even young brothers doing their thing, making sure that they take care of business. Everybody is unified, taking care of business. And so I think CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, they all trying to just do their best not to really show that unity. Because see, if you show all that unity, man, you know, that's what they scared of. They don't want that. That's the significance of the video, y'all. The significance of what you see in the video is the unification of black family. That's right. So I'm gonna land right there. I want y'all to just kind of marinate on that. That's the significance of the video. It's black unity, which is why they're not trying to show it on TV. Because I heard somebody mention something about they haven't been seen. I think it was Sister No Taxation. She said she haven't been seeing it on TV. And but that's why you're not seeing it on TV, because they want to keep that black unity off TV. See? So I'm gonna land right there.
All right. Appreciate that, Professor. I see Tweety's up in here. Tweety, you be having some some crazy posts that I be liking and stuff like that. You definitely keep it interesting with your posts, so I got to give you a shout out on that because your posts are definitely very interesting to say the least. So shout out to Tweety up in here as well too. Let me give a shout out to my girl, Miss Denise. As always, thank you, Denise, for your contribution on Venmo. Definitely appreciate that, sister. Let me go ahead and get to Rerun, and I'm gonna get to you, Denise. Uh, Go ahead, Rerun. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter. Thank you guys for allowing me to speak. Welcome back, Newstoter. Spaces, like I told you, was kind of crazy when you was gone, but glad you're back.
Thank you, sister.
First thing I wanted to talk about is the Montgomery Brawl, and I think that ain't nobody giving enough attention to the old elder who got in a fight, the first one who was there. Now he knew, he had to know that that family was going to get involved. He just didn't have no fear. He threw that hat off and it was on, And if I'm not mistaken, I feel like he knocked a couple of them out before the rest of the family came and gathered around him and tried to take him down. But he had no fear. He went into it. He said, "All right, this is gonna be what it is, and let's do it." And so that part of it, I'm like, yeah, that fearlessness, that's what we need, especially when it comes to our people, like y'all are like kind of he was like, oh, it's going down. It's tonight, today, okay, today. And then I also want to speak on how we all feel, like happiness is a moment, like happiness is a moment. Happiness in a moment where we're all feeling is joy. And like joy is a spirit. It's just something that resonates and it stays with you. Because I've been watching this for I say probably about 48 hours. And I've just been filled with joy. I mean, I can't really express it another way. It's just a very joyous feeling. And it's not that they beat up some white people. It was the unity for me, because they're just like, just hear it all the time, black people want to identify, and you hear black people saying, oh, we just don't get along, we hate each other, and it's just like, who told y'all that? Like, this is just not true. It's like far from the truth. I was at work today, and the elder brother, he saw me. I saw him. I gave my hat, did our little head nod, I walked past him again. I was like, how you doing, brother? He was like, I'm good. How you doing, sister? I was like, I'm good, and like, we had a little dialogue and stuff. So I feel like we all know what's going on, and we are all kind of living in this spirit of joy, that we feel. As far as Eminem, so I'm on the West Coast, and I heard somebody say earlier that he just don't get no play like that. He's gone, he's irrelevant. I'm in Oregon, okay? I'm just trying to listen to the music, the music in the morning, listen to my they do this thing where it's like first they follow up, and that should be cracking me up. So I'm like listening in, trying to get my first day follow up. Every other song is Eminem. And I mean, I literally have to change the station because I want them to know that when they play Eminem, they lose a customer, But they play Eminem here every day. But I think that it might have something to do with not trying to play like a lot of this new music because it kind of sets people off. But I hear Eminem every day. When I was growing up in California, I heard Eminem every day. There was still only a few songs that I could really say that kind of like, give me a little head bob or whatever, maybe two. But I mean, this man, he hates women. His mom, he hates his mother, he hates his baby mother. I don't know what's up with his daughter, but he just hated women. I mean, that song about him putting a girl in the trunk and driving off the cliff, it's just like he just has an issue with women. He wasn't a good guy. He didn't come into the scene and make anything better. It was like parody rap for me. It was like comical. It didn't seem like he was really trying to compete. It seemed like he was trying to like kind of make his own genre of rap because it really wasn't rap. Like besides making some words rhyme, it didn't tell a story. It didn't give what it was supposed to give. But I mean, most white people don't have a story, and maybe that's why he, stuck to his mom and dogging her out and suing her. And I mean, it was just so messy and so ugly, So Eminem, he's not even top 5, white or not. He just didn't have anything to bring. He tried to come back out when Trump was in office, and that shit flopped so terribly. I was just like, he just needs to go ahead and have a seat. You know, it's over. It's over. His little time was over. It's been over. And you know, everybody's like, he's talented or whatever. I'm not. Like, winning yellow purple pills, and I mean, come on. Like, it was just very degenerate music to me. You know what I mean? It didn't give anybody any upliftment. It just didn't resonate in my heart, you know. But no, you guys in these white rural areas, they play Eminem all the time. And he don't have nothing new. I feel like he made about 3 albums. And they keep on these same 3 songs in rotation. Like, every day I have to hear it until I change the station. But they're keeping him alive. White people made him rich. White people will continue to make them rich. Just like they continue to make Pink rich after she switched. She was all diva. When she got a little bit of money and she went full rock. Miley Cyrus. She was all diva when she first came out. Then she made a little bit of money from our community and went all rock. This is what they do. In order to get clout, you have to go to the black community. Pretty much everybody, I feel like they have to go to the black community unless it's like country music or something like that. Like that the white genre, whatever. But they have to come to us to get the money. They have to come to us to get the clout. And I just think we need to stop that right now. Okay, like right now, there should never be another white person who comes into this genre, and we're like, oh yeah, he's so good. Oh, I can't wait to get up and dance to this dude talk about kicking somebody out of bar school. You know, he can't be nobody's Superman. He wasn't nobody's Superman when you was on 8 Mile. He wasn't nobody's Superman. But now all of a sudden you got a little bit of money. You can't be nobody's Superman. That's what nobody likes you. So that's my take on Eminem. But the Brawl, man, I'm still happy. I'm so juiced. I've been laughing, cracking up. I'm talking about a chair. But give me a folded chair just in case. So thank you for allowing me to speak this story. Welcome back again. And everybody, I love y'all.
All right, thank you, Rera. The dude with the chair, him and the young dude, they really did steal a show out there. You have to go ahead. Well, man with the chair, he just like, I don't know, he zoned out. He just went to commence the whacking. He didn't, you know, Professor, at the end, it was a black dude. It was a black police officer that arrested him because he called him as he was whacking somebody, I think, man. Like,
Come on, the guy with the chair.
yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 black officers that took him down when they saw him hit the white woman, which they should have left him alone because she was in the fight. That white woman was out there fighting with the black men and the white men. If y'all notice, in the video, the Karens were all jumping in on these fights with the men. Now they should have stayed out of it. But when the sisters got off that boat, they went after those Karens to move the Karens out of the way. So the brothers could take care of the white men. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be men on men and the women on the women. And I loved it when I saw them sisters kicking that damn Karen with the red. I think she had on a red t-shirt, or maybe it was a dress. I don't know. But that's how it's supposed to be done. See, the sister took care of them Karens, and the black men were taking out the damn men. Okay, now. That woman in the red dress, she got hit with that chair because she deserved it. You know what I'm saying? Just tell her like it is. She deserved that. And I tell you, that was the best part of the video too, y'all. When that brother was landing them chair shots, I love it.
That would have been me, Professor. That would have been me. I probably my clothes that go guarantee. Look, old people know to go get a weapon. That's what we do.
There you go. I loved it. I loved every minute of that, y'all. When he was blending them chair shots, man. And look, if y'all see that video, I think it was people that was on the boat, like on the inside of the boat. I think I could hear people on the inside that were saying, "Woo!" as the dude was landing those chair shots on that man's head. You could hear people in that video saying, "Woo!" And but it just goes to show you, man. Older black people, the younger black people, everybody got in and they did what they were supposed to do. Everybody was on code. And see, that's what we got to do all the time. What you saw in the video, y'all, is what we got to do all the time. So we need to take the momentum, move it from that fight, and move it into the political side of it. Move it into the political arena. And of course, have we even seen in these pieces or in these truths?
Professor, you sound like you're in the Matrix.
Say that again.
Sound like you was in the Matrix for a second.
Oh, if you've been paying attention, y'all, you probably would see where some tethers have been making comment that we shouldn't be celebrating this, that we need to stop acting like this was some type of race war and all this type of stuff.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of that stuff today earlier too. This doesn't have nothing to do with anybody else but the black people that's over here, and specifically the ones in Alabama. So to sit over here and say what somebody needs to do, and you sitting over there in some of these countries and you letting the actual minority whoop up on you, what you need to do is sit down and shut up and don't worry about it. You need to go ahead and do some of that in your own country where you're the actual majority of the actual population, and start letting little small groups and stuff sit up here in your homeland, kicking your behind, and then got the nerve to tell us that deeply offended you yesterday when you saw that. Like, you need to go ahead and shut up. Because for one, if you were to do half of what these people just did in Alabama, y'all would be running the show instead of getting ran. So what you need to do is shut your mouth and don't worry about what's going on over here. You could at least come up here and say, hey, you know what? That made me proud to see that. Know what I'm saying? As melanated people, we support that. A big shout out to you guys. But no, you're going to sit over here trying to win brownie points and stuff, talking about, oh, this wasn't this and that or whatever. When I see them in some of these countries over there in Africa, you got small little pockets of Chinese people sitting over here beating up on Africans. And now I will give a props to some of the Africans I did see went ahead and took matters into their own head. But that's what you need to be doing right there, and not worry about this wasn't. Yeah, we know nobody ever said this was the end all be all or whatever. We're simply saying that, hey, you had some people that got out of pocket, got out of line, and got what they deserved. Okay, straight up. They got exactly what they deserved, and everybody was happy to see it. And that's how it should be. Instead, you sitting over here on social media talking about what this and that or whatever. Man, go ahead and worry about handling stuff where you're the majority at. You're not a minority like we are over here. You're a majority in your country. You should be running the show. You should control everything from the economics to the politics to the education to the healthcare. Everything, all the resources, all the minerals, valuables, everything over there, the military. Should nobody have no damn military bases on your continent, period? Shut up, man, with all that dumb stuff. Anytime you see something over here, you got to sit over and try to win brownie points. Like Trouble said, it was the same Negro sitting up here. Nobody's taking any shot at Eminem. We're just trying to say that Eminem is not the greatest of all time. He's not the best of all time. You know, he did not make hip hop go global. You had movies and stuff with Kid and Play them in 90 and stuff that was getting all kind of attention. You had MC Hammer had a damn cartoon. Kid and Play had a cartoon. Get out of here with all this stuff talking about. You had Yo MTV Raps. You had Rap City in the Basement. You had all kind of different shows and stuff dedicated to hip hop alone, not only with the actual sitcoms and stuff we had on TV. I mean, stop with the dumb stuff sitting up here talking about he came on the scene. He came into a multi-billion-dollar industry and went ahead and made money from it. Stop sitting up here like he went ahead and he invented the wheel, which he did. Nobody, if that offends people, then oh well, it just offends you. But the truth of the matter is, no, he did not turn a damn trailer into a mansion. I don't care what he says. I give him credit for what he did. You know, he's a be commended or whatever. But at the same time, like I said, he had the backing. He had the super producer that was in his corner. So shout out to Dr. Dre as well too, because we know, let's be for real, whatever Dr. Dre produces goes platinum. It's just simple as that. Dr. Dre, whatever he touches, and how many times can you say, well, Dr. Dre, a bad album for Dr. Dre is if an album just goes platinum. Everybody saw it, the Firm album with Nas and AZ and Foxy Brown, and it just sold, it was a flop. Yeah, it was a flop, and it still sold 1 million albums. So this is the kind of flops that he puts out. It still goes platinum. And you had as a late Paul Mooney said, you had the complexion for the protection as well too. So let's also put that out there as well too. And I said that earlier about white stars and stuff and the kind of treatment they get in America and in Europe as well too. So, nobody's hating on this dude. We just go ahead. Whenever you start using facts or whatever, and let's be for real, he kind of followed the pattern of Elvis Presley as well too. Elvis himself knows he wasn't the originator. A lot of if you listen to some of these oldest white stars and stuff, they'll let you know themselves that, hey, yeah, I got this from listening to so and so. I got this from listening to so and so. The damn Rolling Stones and everybody else, the Rolling Stones, them love Otis Redding. What do you think? I mean, please. Mick Jagger sitting up there trying to dance, looking at James Brown. Man, get out of here with this stuff here. Let me go ahead and get to my girl Denise. Denise, I didn't mean to hold you up. How you doing tonight?
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello, brothers and sisters. And I'm glad to see that you're back, Newstoter. Hello, Tweety. I saw your message. Yeah, I'll start with Eminem. And I'll just piggyback off of what you said in terms of Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre's street credit does not transfer onto Eminem. He done. Stick a fork in him. May he rest in peace. He had his time. It's over. Ain't nobody thinking of, who in here is thinking about Eminem? I think about the candy. That's about it. Ain't nobody thinking about, I'd rather listen to the Beastie Boys before I listen to Eminem. Ain't nobody thinking about him.
And I wasn't big, and I wasn't, not to cut you off, Denise, but I never saw the greatness about the Beastie Boys either, but that's just another story for another time.
Well, I'm just saying, they came before him, so if I'm going to listen to somebody based on my age, I'm 56. Based on my age, I might as well listen to the Beastie Boys if I'm going to go there. Okay, I ain't thinking about it. Y'all, but a lot of people seem to be upset about the fact that he's falling off, right? Well, he's about to fall off because, just like I said, Dr. Dre's street credit within our community does not automatically transfer onto him. And a lot of those stars who go that route, be it rock and roll, R&B, hip hop, think that people who discover them within our communities, their glory transfers on to them. It don't. I don't know but a white person who continuously was discovered by one in our community and continuously kept with the culture. Is she gone? And y'all know who I'm talking about. Tina Marie. That's about it. All the rest of them people, please mix me with all the bullshit. Excuse my language. They done. Now, in terms of some folks calling it the Alabama Sweet Tea Party, the Montgomery Massacre, or whatever. What is it that they say in the Bible? And the children shall lead the way. And when I saw Mr. Aaron jump out of that water, he told me one thing and one thing only, that our younger generation is not asleep about what has been going on in this country all these many years. And I am glad that he got out there and got in that water and made the rest of us, and some of us are asleep, wake the hell up. Because this stuff is not going to change. And as Brother Malcolm said, he said exactly what transpired on August the 5th out here on Montgomery. One day, we will wake up and unify. And like Professor said, the news ain't trying to show all of that. Because let's just be real about it, everyone. White America is scared that if they show all of us unifying, that, we might have an uprising and we might have a problem on our hands. I will say this. We need to stay on code. You damn Skippy, and I don't mean peanut butter. We need to stay on code because trust me, if you think Ken and Karen is going to let that quote unquote slide, you're sadly mistaken. Because while I was rolling around on TikTok and all the social media platforms, those people are quite upset that their kin folks didn't get the upper hand in their small town. I don't care. we are tired and we have put up and we've asked nicely. We did everything under the sun to coexist with these individuals, and they have made it painfully clear that they're not interested. So since you want to go that way, we will certainly go that way. So yes, I applaud everyone right on out there on that dock from which we were sold at one time. You damn skippy. And I'll land my plane there. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Miss Denise. Let me go ahead and get to no taxation. No taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic. No, I'm sorry, DJ. Go ahead and Oh, we got Minister Ali up here. Let me get the minister.
Yeah, let Minister Ali go.
Go ahead. How you doing tonight?
I'm great, Newstoter. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. I just wanted to chime in real quick for a couple of reasons. One, as I told you when I saw the post about Eminem, he's like the white cousin by marriage as it pertains to hip hop. We see him, we even acknowledge him at some point, but we recognize him when we see him for who he actually is. The other thing is that the fight that happened in Alabama is about damn time. A lot of us have stayed in the trenches, boots on the ground for decades, and have been waiting for things like this to happen. Similarly to the energy that was exhibited in New York City with the young public figure who attempted to give away some items, and it turned into thousands of young people coming to the street. I often say that when COVID happened, it was as though the ancestors and the creator hit the reset button. And what it did was allow us the opportunity to come in and say, hey, you know what? No more status quo. No more do we tolerate what the government just automatically tells us, and we accept it. And that's the energy that you're seeing exuded now. The ancestors, I told somebody just this week, the chickens are coming home to roost, and Malcolm, was the first to say that quote, and it is truly happening. And all of us, as is popularly said, better keep our heads on swivel. We need to keep our eye on this young brother who, they're calling Black Aquaman for the extended future, to make sure that he is safe and protected, as well as his family and so on. But it's time for us to come together and get our acts together and, speak forward on and speak truth to power. The last thing I'd like to say is that, as you know, and some of the listeners may know, I'm with the National Freedom and Justice Movement. And we've been involved intricately in the state of Alabama. I tell everybody, that's kind of where I cut my teeth with the Free Alabama movement. And brothers have sacrificed for almost a decade, putting the freedom struggle in the forefront in the state of Alabama and across the nation, and have had hell dealing with Kay Ivey, the governor of Alabama. And so right now, there's a brother named Bernard Jemison who took a contraband cell phone and started publishing how many people in his facility that needed medical care. I mean, and I'm working directly with a brother named Willie Evans, who has been now incapacitated into a wheelchair because of the lack of treatment that he received on his back. And one of the metal pieces slipped, and now he's in a wheelchair, and they won't even give him his pain medication. So if people want to get involved in Alabama, we need them in the trenches to continue this fight, to continue the struggle. And we started a movement or a strike called Redistribute the Pain back in 2018. And you can Google all of this, and it'll come up. And we have never stopped. We have never stopped striking. These brothers have never stopped speaking up. And they have never stopped putting their very lives on the line. And right now, Bernard Jemison is in the hole for exposing Alabama Department of Corrections. So we really do need people to keep their eyes on Alabama. if you want to get involved in what's happening there, please reach out to me. I'm Queen Tahira, Minister Ali as well on Facebook, the National Freedom and Justice Movement. You can look us up, and you also can go to Facebook on Bernard Jemison, Friends and Loved Ones, and you can see directly there some of the videos that he has put out, putting his life on the line. And they've taken his mattress, they've woken him up in the middle of the night. I mean, they've done everything that they could possibly do to try to get this contraband cell phone so he would stop putting out these videos, and they were unable to stop him until they put him absolutely in the hole. And now we don't know, his well-being at this point, and we're making a lot of noise in Alabama. So, like I said, if people want to get in contact with me, feel free to do so. My email is we'll say tahira@gmail.com. You can reach out to me. You also can find me on Facebook and social media as well with the National Freedom and Justice Movement. And again, check out Bernard Jemison's page, BernardJemison, Friends and Loved Ones, and go see those videos for yourself to see how grimy Alabama actually is when it comes to dealing with those people who are behind enemy lines. And I yield with that. Thank you so much, Newstoter, and glad you're back.
Thank you, sis, as always.
I'm sorry. Can she give you or Professor that information so y'all can put it up in the thing for everybody to see, please?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she can put it up in the jumbotron.
Or can you put it up in the jumbotron?
I can send it to Newstoter, and I can put it in the chat here.
Okay.
Okay. You put it in the chat, I'll grab it. If you put it in the chat, I'll put it in the jumbotron.
Okay. May I give out my number, Newstoter?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, sister.
Okay, it's area code 513-913-2691. And they call me Queen T in the movement, but I'm also known as Minister Tahira Ali. And we need y'all, we need each other. The more that we stand up and show unity, the stronger we're all going to be. Not just in Alabama, not just in the state of Ohio where I'm at. We're boots on the ground here too with the housing situation and the dollars that have been misappropriately spent that should have been going to affordable housing that went to developers. So, I'm in it 10 toes down, and we really do need some help. 513-913-2691 is my direct number, and I don't mind to text as well.
Okay, thank you, sis, as always, and definitely support Minister Ali, and keep us also posted. I know Chaz, you told us that his the trial got pushed back to September, I believe you said.
Yes, we don't have a date as of yet for September, but again, we out here boots on the ground. On the 21st of August, we had a very successful rally in the city of Youngstown, which has mob ties, and they still haven't left because they're the descendants of the people who originated there, that are now running the judicial system, the police, and everything else there. And they wanted Chaz off the street by any means necessary at 16 years old. He's done 22 years for a crime he didn't commit. So, yeah, they have pushed his hearing date back to September. I'm waiting on a date now from his attorney. But we were very successful in the rally that we had, and we're going to keep fighting until victory is ours.
All right, thank you, my sister, and let us know. Let me know. Like I said, just keep in contact like you do, so we can go ahead and stay on top of that as well too. So, thank you, Minister Ali.
Ashe, thank you as well. Peace.
Peace. Let me go ahead. DJ, I know you had your hand up for a minute. You want to go ahead and speak? DJ may not be in this space. Let me go ahead. No taxation. I'll go ahead and go back to you.
Let tax go, and I'll go right after. I just walk this parade. Let's go.
Okay. You got no taxation.
Here I come. Okay. I want to say something to Original. Is he still on here? Original. Go back and listen to because this has something to do with what you was talking about. Go back and look at that video again. This time, close your eyes. So don't look at it, but hear it. And listen to that man in the back And women, I want you to key in on this too. For every woman in this space, or for a man that prefers a man, if, you know, your business is your pleasure. Go back and close your eyes and listen to the conversation when that woman was filmed. You're going to hear a man in the back laugh. Whenever you hear that kind of a laugh from a black man, women, and original, you know what I'm talking about. Those are the sellouts. That laugh is prevalent all over the Deep South. Same laugh. And so I just want to tell the women, if you're down in the Deep South and you see a man, he look real good, and then all of a sudden he laughs like that, stay away from him here. That's just some old lady advice. I'm trying to give y'all. Go back and listen to it originally. I want to say that. Then the other thing I want to say is, understand that Alabama has always been this way. Lowndes County, where that sewage was coming up in front of on those people's property, because white folks really wanted that property and they were mad because black folks couldn't sell it. And they were living in trailers, and every time they flushed, it was coming up in their yards, right? That had been going on for years. The city refused to allow them to hook up to city services. They said, no, you're on your own. And of course, they were for it. And so they lived with that. I'm talking about probably before I was born. And the one thing this administration did, and I'm not a Joe Biden fan at all, in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I protested against that three strikes law in Selma, and that's why I got ran out. The one that happened on the clip, that was Biden's bill. Them white folks down there have been having a stranglehold. The Biden administration hired one guy in the EPA, a black guy. And finally, Lowndes County is getting some of that infrastructure money, and they don't have to live like that. And it didn't take a court case to get it. It just took somebody being in a position of power. And one of us that believes in us, and that's a young black man. So watch for the good things, and the rest of it leave. Alabama has got to change. And if it doesn't change now, you know, that's what it's going to look like for a long period of time, probably for the rest of y'all's generation, certainly until I pass out. So just remember that. Remember what you're up against. Yes, we're supposed to be joyous. It was a battle, and we won. But it's still a war to fight, right? So, you know, let's not forget in our joyous occasion while we celebrate. Make sure everybody goes back to work and puts their nose to the grindstone and doing what they have to do. If it ain't no more than getting somebody straight in the grocery store. Because that's where we're at in this country. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. So, y'all just hang in there. I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. Thank you, sister. Look, DJ, we got somebody coming up in the space. DJ and Professor. I want y'all to guess who it is.
Yeah, let my Brooklyn homie cook for me. Go ahead, bro.
Give me new woman.
Well, why he doing his 1-2 thing? He's probably robbing somebody because, you know, we riders out here, Shepherd. You know what I'm saying? We riding. He's Brick City, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, just to be quick, because I know we're about to close by in a minute. Riverfront Brawl, let's get to it. You already know, throw a left, counter that shit with the right, or you can uppercut, yoga flame. You know what I'm saying? Find that goddamn chair to rewrite that shit worth $1 million, nigga. You see the dent in the chair, you know what I'm saying? Nobody sending it, put it in a frame and put it on a wall, yo. You know what I'm saying? And put it in all black.
Only $1 million? You lowball
I mean, it's worth $1 million for somebody who find it right now. Let me get that check. I know I'm gonna have to pay something just to get the check, but it's gonna be worth more than that when I get my hands on it. Because once it's in somebody's possession, we can put the price tag on it. Hey man, it's not worth $50 million. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta pay $30.
Hey, DJ, real quick. Let me tell everybody up in the Jumbotron. I put Minister Ali's information up there in the Jumbotron. It's on the far left-hand side, guys. So for her Facebook group and everything is up in there. So you can go ahead and click that link and it'll take you. So I retweeted it out and it's in the Jumbotron as well, too. But go ahead, DJ, my bad.
Nah, you good, bro. it down. We got the speakers up there. So let Shepard go ahead. Go so I can chill. But yeah. Hey, let me say this one thing though. The way old head threw that chair down on old girl in the red right in front of the police. Put some bail money on this nigga, yo. You know what I'm saying? Well, how much is this bail? I'm about to go hustle up some bread just to get him out. You know what I'm saying? What we gotta do? You know what I'm saying? Stay codified. I see you, Mo. Go ahead, Shepard.
It's hard to come behind that energy. Peace, man. Brooklyn in the building. Yeah, let's talk about the shit I didn't like first. It's easy to talk about all the great shit that we like, right? Black police is the weakest link in our community, man. I know they seen dude hit the lady in the head with the chair, whatever, but it need to be a time where black police show up and just take our side immediately, no matter what. You know how many times white police show up and they see somebody white in the middle of doing something to us and they still take their side? So it ain't no excuses for black police not to be on our side, man. They the weakest fucking link in everything. If we have black police on our side as black people, we will have an army with us, and nobody can fuck with us because we have an armed army with qualified immunity that can rock for us. So that's the first thing I ain't really like. That shit open up a big conversation on black policing and with how we need to get these niggas out the paint or expose them or shame them until these niggas just fucking dox them. I don't give a fuck. Black police need to show the fuck up for the black community for a fucking change. That's number one. Number two, security guard dude don't know how to fight, man. He didn't have the peripherals, he had no training. He needs some training. We need to pay for some training for this nigga, some self-defense training, because he definitely gonna be a target after this shit. He should know how to defend himself. Everything he did in the fight was wrong from the beginning, and it's so glad that we had all the people have his back, because the nigga was fighting the first white boy with his head down. He could have leg swept him. He could have took him to the ground, kicked his head. He could have did a lot of fucking shit once he got him down. And then he pushed the white boy out.
My bad. Go ahead, Shepard.
Yeah, he pushed the white boy to the middle of the dot where he got tackled at. He never did that shit. He should have fucking scanned and planned. That's what we do in self-defense. Make a plan. You fighting somebody, you keep your peripherals open, especially when you already knew that there was a lot of white boys with him. So he needs self-defense training. I hope he get what he needs, because he definitely need it. Three, that's the only two bad things: the police and the way the first dude was fighting. He could have really got fucked up if he didn't have no help. He was in a bad spot, so he put himself in that spot too, because he didn't have a plan. So next, that's just from self-defense training. That's from my pops is a sensei. Well, it was a sensei. So that's just shit you just learn early when you fight a group of people. You know a group of people can jump on you. You got to have a plan going into that fight. Throwing the head up in the air was a stall tactic. I know everybody laughing about it, saying it's the Bobby Smurder, but he did that to kind of stall. That's what you do when you really don't want to fight. Niggas who really want to fight would have got to it immediately. As soon as he got hit, he bip. There ain't no throwing hats in the air, none of that shit. Just get to the action. So those are the three things that I saw that I did not like.
My bad.
What I did like was us coming together, the unity of that shit. And we ain't seen nothing like this shit in a long time, man. I hope that shit can bring us fucking together, man, on a wide scale, no matter what we believe in, man. This shit, we needed this shit. This was a dose of adrenaline. This was the fucking best thing that happened all summer to us as a race. This was like a pick-me-up, man. The way that we all gravitated to it, no matter what you believe. Ain't nobody on here really sending shots at each other. Ain't nobody on here really, like, this week was a week of fucking, like, this was I don't even know what kind of teeth this is. This is the Montgomery teeth. You know what I'm saying? This shit need to be commemorated. This shit need to be celebrated. And I think Tyreek has mentioned that put something in his Instagram about they was there celebrating their ancestors. Like a lot of the black people was there because that was a slave port. So they was there celebrating their ancestors. They had pour libation. They had rum flowers to put in the water and that type of shit. So niggas was already on point. And that's how we always need to be, man. We need to be one nation under a groove. We need to always have each other's back. I could disagree with every motherfucker in this room on different points. But goddamn it, if I see you in the street and you being attacked or you in a bad situation, you need something, I'm gonna be there for you. Fuck this Twitter X shit. I'm gonna be there for you. And I hope everybody be there for me if I ever was in a bad fucking situation, whether you knew who I was or not. Out.
All right. Thank you, Shepard. Made a lot of good points in that one there as well too. So yeah, this was something that kind of did give everybody a little lift here as well too. So like you say, that can hopefully that's the boost. That's not that. Let's make that the actual the rule and not the exception as well too. So let's not just see what these people did in Alabama and then just go ahead and forget it. So definitely glad that you was able to stop up. And I know Shepard, you on the West Coast, so you catch the spaces later than what you used to. So, but shout out to you.
Man. Space is a lot, man.
Yeah, but we record the spaces as well too, so you can always, if you can't catch it live, you can always check it out here on Twitter, or you can go to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well too, Shepard.
Man, you smooth with the plugs, man. I gotta hand it to you. Very polished, brother. Very polished.
Hey, I mean, you up in the space all the way, you follow it and whatnot, so you might as well go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I tell everybody up in here, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead, people, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're up in the space and you're not following Newstoter on Twitter, please make sure you go ahead and follow Newstoter on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other social media sites as well, too. And since it is Black Business Month, for those that can support, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. We got like 90-some people in here. If we can get one or two people to give us $1 donation before the night, a contribution to the actual platform, and I tell everybody Newstoter is its own platform, own website. Make sure you visit newstoter.com daily to stay up to date on breaking Black news. You need to go ahead and make sure you go ahead and follow Newstoter on Twitter, and make sure you go to the actual website, because we can't post all the content on Twitter. Do post normally 30 to 40 posts a day. Content coming off the site, so definitely go to newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking Black news today in America. Newstoter.com. Support us on Cash App, $Newstoter. If you do not have a Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron as well. For those that want to become a Twitter member, like Black Delegation did tonight, you can go to the profile page. It's $3 a month to support us on Twitter as well too. So yeah, the Black media needs the support of the Black people as well too. So we put the content out there daily, got our own platform, own site. So definitely any little bit that you guys can contribute, it definitely goes a long way in terms of that web hosting, email hosting, and everything else as well too. Shout out to Thias. Thias, thank you for your contribution on Cash App, but it definitely goes a long way, so we definitely appreciate that. Shepard, you was going to say something? Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't say nothing about that Eminem shit. Let me
okay.
That's some bullshit. Eminem ain't make no hip hop global. What the fuck is they talking about, man? First of all, the way hip hop went global really was the South Africa divestment campaign, self-destruction in South Africa. The name of that campaign, I can't remember it. Maybe if you do Jersey, the campaign we was rapping about South Africa, and that shit was about apartheid. That shit made hip hop go global. Yeah.
And they went to Africa.
Yeah. But that South Africa shit, that was really like big. That was international, like, they were saying Black Americans and Africans is linking up through music. It was mad articles on that shit, New York Times, everything. So that was covered on in Europe. That was covered. So that was the biggest international push I ever seen, was, for a purpose. So Eminem, I mean, he brought it. His scans don't lie. So literally, what they trying to say is that because they looking at who bought his music internationally over his career, and he got scans that say, okay, it was bought in Europe, it was bought in Romania. They trying to say that his scans make it global, but the culture already was global. So what the fuck are they talking about?
A real talk, Shepard. That's what I had to remind people, and I had to let them also know that in '98, rap music, hip hop, whatever you want to call it, surpassed the biggest selling genre in America at the time, which was country music. Before, so he walked into a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Industry. I think that year in '98, you had over 81 million CDs and tapes that was sold. Of course, that's all that's accounted. And I think that was 9 million more than country, which was the second biggest genre. So get out of here with that. Like you said, the culture was already imminent around the world, from movies to TV shows to fashion to you name it. So that's just some nonsense that people were saying. But I've been straightening folks up there like that pretty much going on. Let me go ahead and get to Lisa, and then I'm going to get to UT. Go ahead, Lisa. How you doing?
How you doing? Listen, I just want to say, if anything I saw, that was the greatest fight in America. I lost my voice from just like, it just took me to a different place. I'm 58 years old, and I remember them brawls right here in Yonkers with the Latinos. I'm talking about tearing up buildings and everything. I remember back in the day. All I'm saying is that it was a beautiful thing to see the unity of black people that didn't know other black people that came to that man's rescue. That was a beautiful thing. And as far as even like rap music, like Lord have mercy. What was the first commercial rap song? The hip, the hop, the something hoppity something, right? Right, that went commercial. How can these people fix their lips? Huh?
Rappers alike.
Rappers alike, right. So I was like 12 years old when that came out, 12 or 13. Like, how could they even fix their lips to even claim something? But again, this is because that's part of us. We're not gatekeeping our own stuff. And when we let these other people get in, I'm not saying that they're not good at the craft or what they do, but we need to gatekeep it as our culture. And that's something we're not doing. So I think it's high time that, we start gatekeeping our stuff and really start, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, black people don't have a lot of records of things as far as, writing stuff down and, when it started or when that started. I don't know if that was a mixtape that just happened to make it on the radio. Who knows? I don't know. But what I am saying is that at this point, come on now, guys. We know who we are and we know what we have done. And if you really think about it, they even try to play down Alabama. They try to play that down like we was just getting beat up on a bridge. No, the hell no, they wasn't. That was them other folks, them Boulay people that was getting beat up on a bridge, not us. So I just think that, it's high time, folk like yourself, we need to just start telling the truth. Like, get out of my face. And Eminem is a great artist. That's it. But you took what you have, you learned the craft from us. Period. These people get on billboards and numbers and things, and they forgot where they learned it from. We are the mothers and fathers of civilization, period. And I think the Most High showed us that in Alabama. And I land my plane there.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Let me give a shout out to People's Platform, Minister Ali. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App as well, too. Let me go ahead and get to T. Let me get to T and we get to Brother Moku. Probably getting ready to close it out shortly, y'all. I'm going close to 3 hours. So let me go ahead and get to T. T, go ahead and unmute your mic. Yeah, I can hear you. You're a little low. Can you get you a little bit louder? You must got on some a headset or something, some earbuds or something.
No, I got that Bluetooth on my car radio.
Okay. What's up? I can hear you louder. I can hear you better now.
Okay, now I'm speaking on the Alabama Brawl or whatever. No, we've been whipping on the white boys' asses for a long time now. It just got televised. Now the world knows. And ride the wave, unity. You know what I'm saying? Tell the little local rappers, man, y'all need to rap about the white boys. Take the nigga out, put the white boy in. You know what I'm saying? Out of your word. You know what I'm saying? That right there was a very beautiful thing. Like, I'm up in Detroit, and even the white folks here know we get on their heads. You know what I'm saying? They already know. Like, we'll literally help them up. You know what I'm saying? And that was beautiful. And everybody need to ride the wave. When you see a little young guy talking that crazy stuff, just check him like, hey, bro, you need to rap about this. Just get on that Tupac. Everybody want to be on that Tupac Biggie stuff, but everybody want to rap the Tupac gangster stuff, but don't nobody want to rap the Tupac political stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. And as far as Eminem, I'm in the D, and all jokes aside, he just playing around because we don't even, these little young kids, like I'm 40, I'm being that boy the same age. We don't even listen to him here. We got a million rappers
know what I'm saying? All our stuff is underground. If you listen to his song "Welcome to Detroit City," he names the Detroit groups and rappers here that have been around since Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? He names Rock Bottom and Cheddar Boys, but those the boys real like drug dealers. They rapping though. You know what I'm saying? And M follows behind them, even though he a billionaire. He follows behind them guys. You know what I'm saying? So don't pay attention to that. That's just he just trying to stay relevant. That nigga 50 years old. He's just trying to stay relevant in the game. Because he was on the radio talking about, he was like he was playing, he was talking shit. But don't nobody hear you bumping like that. You know what I'm saying? And the white folks here are mostly like ghetto white folks. So he is from the hood, you know what I'm saying? And we got like a different relationship than other cities with white folks. They really don't, they stay in their lane here. They really don't talk all that rah-rah shit. You know what I'm saying? Even in Howell, Michigan, where it's Klan headquarters.
Hey, we lost you, T. You there?
You know what I'm saying? So just, you know what I'm saying? I'm being real. These white folks not, they ain't cut like that. They cut like that. They get busy on, but ain't no KKK type of business. You know what I'm saying? They get busy on you, fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, they ain't talking about shit. But Eminem, man, you know, he just what they call a cosplaying. He's just trying to stay relevant and shit. Because he don't nobody here. We listen to him like that. We listen to him, but that ain't the first choice. That's like the 20th choice. You know? So look, he gets from boy, all black, B12 guys. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Crew.
Hey, we can't hardly hear you, T. Hey, we can't hear you, T.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, him just playing around with folks, man. He know the real, because from where he's from, we don't listen to him. You know what I mean? We don't listen to him. They only come on the radio here. None of his songs. Even with his group, the D12, they only play it on the radio. So he just cosplaying. He just talking shit, trying to stay relevant. And that's about it. Don't try to drive home, though, y'all.
All right, appreciate you. Brother Mocha, we're going to let you be the last speaker for the night, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to close it out. Go ahead, you got it.
What's up, Newstoter? Thanks for letting me speak. Hey, everybody in the room. I'm gonna just go in order. I'm gonna say, I'm try to keep it quick. The Riverfront Brawl. I want everybody to understand. We just got finished implementing something that the code put in place, and that's Justice Day. It was just the 4th, right? All them people down there in Alabama, the black, non-white black people, what they displayed for us was how justice looks. And what is justice? That's the guarantee that no one is mistreated or harmed. And the second guarantee is guaranteeing that whoever needs help get the most constructive help. What he was doing with that chair was giving some constructive help. You feel me? The best way that he could. Shout out to Justice Day, the 4th of every month. Every month. No more 4th of July or 4th of July. Now, that's enough on that, because that was just beautiful. It came right on time, right after the first Justice Day ever. You know what I'm saying?
Could you explain constructive help one more time, man? That shit was beautiful.
Yeah. It's just the guarantee, justice. Justice has a meaning. And I want to say, for the space sake and for Brother Muko's sake, I'll say a legend for the space sake. For Brother Muko and the evidence, the meaning of justice in the Webster Dictionary is wrong. It's false. No one should even be repeating it. No one should take a part of it and try to revive it or revise it. None of that. The meaning of justice is guaranteeing that no one is harmed or mistreated. And then the second part is guaranteeing whoever needs help gets the most constructive help. What the brother was doing with that chair,
he was given the most constructive help that he could give at the time. That's justice. That's what they displayed for us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we should be implementing in every area of people activity. Shout out to people activity. You know what I mean? Every Wednesday. So, here, I go to the next one. Eminem. I always had a problem with Eminem, even when he first came out, because Eminem took his style from Master Ace. Master Ace still make records today, just like KRS-One. Matter of fact, KRS-One and Master Ace are probably the most, only two rappers that got the most albums ever apiece. That's one. Second, Eminem was influenced, just like all the other brothers and sisters said in this space, Eminem was influenced by everything black. Rock, people might haven't even mentioned Royce the 5'9". Royce the 5'9", think he got his style from Eminem? No. He was influencing Eminem the whole time. Eminem white ass was tricking him to think that he was actually learning something from Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Another thing about Eminem. Eminem, I've never bought any of his albums. But with Master Ace, he never paid homage to Master Ace, who he took his style from. And everybody in the industry, even legends like Rakim, who I don't even really listen to Rakim no more because he made this statement. We got to get our old heads out of giving this motherfucker props. Even today, right now today, Eminem has on his label Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, all of them black. They have their own label, Griselda. He's still feeding off of us. You know what I'm saying? Still doing it. So Eminem he ain't never made nothing global. He had to get on with, just like everybody said with Dre, you know what I'm saying? He had to keep himself relevant with 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Because if 50 Cent ain't come out the woodwork, if he didn't go and run and grab 50 Cent from Columbia, guess what? We wouldn't even know who Eminem was because he wouldn't even had nothing else. Because Eminem, when he went and grabbed 50 Cent, that's the only reason Dre fucked with him again. That's the only reason. If he wouldn't have grabbed 50 and 50 made Eminem hot again, Dre wouldn't have even messed with 50 again. And Dre wouldn't even mess with Eminem again. And we wouldn't even know who Eminem was or is. So we make everything relevant, just like we've always done in history. The evidence shows it. Nobody should ever be talking about Eminem ever again. Real talk. And I land there. Thanks for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you. I see Joseph Price left a comment over there on YouTube. He said, I guess he's talking about Eminem. He said he allowed people in China to admit in the open they like rap music. Okay, Joseph, if you say so. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, I know you're about to close. So again, back to this Brawl thing, this shit was the best shit ever, yo. I've been laughing like my face like hurt, like my jaw feel like I got hit, you know what I'm saying? By one of them bud punches or something, you know what I mean? Because I'm laughing at this stuff, and I don't know if y'all really see all these other angles of the videos that's been posted. Y'all really got to dive maybe a little deeper in here, because y'all missing some points. Keep it real. But like I said, the highlight of the thing was old boy smacking old girl in the head with the chair. Yo, yeah, we need to go find that chair. And shout out, you right, Professor, to the Black Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? Because that brother was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Got up out of the water like he ain't waste no breath and had his fist balled up ready to go. And he laid out a couple of saltines. You know what I'm saying? Word up on that one. So,
like I said, the most constructive help. You feel?
And look, shout out to the main homie that got there first on tape, the one that ran down the steps. Even though he tried to break it up or whatever, it was what it was, son. Because guess what? They jumped a homie and some homies that had happened to been at the Riverfront that day that is spotted from the motherfucking slums of the motherfucking shadow realm. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's what we do around the way. Let's go get them.
Hey, real quick, because I put something up in the Jumbotron that that Negro, it's it's a petition that you can sign. Let me see where that's at. It's up in the Jumbotron. That Negro has a petition. It's on the fourth on the left-hand side. Yeah, it's the fourth on the left-hand side. It's about federal reparations. So if you guys get a chance, and I retweeted it out as well too, go ahead and sign that petition as well too. So shout out to that Negro as well too. I see you up in the space, fam. Shout out to that Negro as well. Brother Muko, I'm gonna let you go ahead real quick because we're gonna get ready to close this thing out in a second. But go ahead.
Look, I gotta say something about swimming now. You know what I mean?
Hey, go ahead.
Go ahead, my brother.
I just had a quick question. And I just lost that. Go ahead, DJ. I just lost my question. Dang.
You about to have, you got 30 seconds. TikTok. Better think of it. You know what I'm saying? Stay 48, nigga. We're about to close out.
Yo, Newstoter, why don't you do a space on the black police, man? We'll talk about some black police this week, man.
Yeah, we can do a space on that too.
I got my question. Look, check this out. I was just thinking, right? Even to the shout out to the brother that did jump off the boat and swam over, right? But just because we're in a system of racism, white supremacy, and we're at war, right? I think when stuff like this happens, when we have our heroes like that, let's stop posting his identity and all that. Even though I know this was already out, this wasn't none of us in the space that did this. You know what I'm saying? We were already retweeting something that they already put out. You feel what I'm saying? But when this happens, because we know it's going to be happening more, we at war. We got to start being more strategic. If we're going to post and celebrate our brother that does shit like this, or our brothers and sisters that does things like this, promote them on social. Take them on our own social platforms. Don't promote their identity and give our warriors, expose our warriors. You know what I'm saying? That's how Martin got killed. That's how Malcolm got killed. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's how the activists in Ferguson got killed. All of the activists in Ferguson are dead. It's like 7 of them are dead.
Facts. So I think so what I suggest for the crew, for everybody in the space, and look, I'm gonna start doing this because I do this every Wednesday, even in my broadcast, my space that I do. Look, we and upgrading our thought, speech, and action. When stuff like this happens, let's start promoting and exposing the white supremacists more. Because Kush put up a video that was keen. It was like a 24-second video of a white supremacist that was in the fight that got bruised up and she was exposed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be running that video and running those tweets on these platforms. You know what I'm saying? But as far as for our warriors, let's keep it on our platforms there as far as their identity. They should be looking like they don't know who this brother is. You know what I'm saying? Like, every newscast and every news broadcast, they present it to us like, oh yeah, this guy did a good thing. He was the only one, and he even jumped from the ship. But really, that's the white supremacist media. So what they're doing is intel gathering, okay? They're intel gathering so that they can know, and then they sending out, just like brother said, all them protesters in Ferguson, most of them got murdered, killed suspiciously. Found dead in cars, hung from trees, and they calling it a suicide. Who hangs themselves from a tree? Nobody ain't going in hanging themselves from no damn tree.
Burned to death.
Right. So that's burned to death. Down in New Orleans, with Katrina, and they still got that race soldier still free. So I just wanted to suggest that. Thanks for letting me speak. So that's the last thing. I promise.
All right.
So the next to last thing, he absolutely right, fam. Like, this ain't over. We celebrating, but they mad right now. You know that these folks, when they mad, they always retaliate some type of way. So the shit ain't even over.
No, and I said that earlier today too. That's why I say everybody needs to go ahead and not let their guard down and keep their head on the swivel, because we already know the MO. So yeah, I said that earlier in the space as well too, that this is not only people in Alabama pissed off, but a lot of people around the country that's seen it, that's white, they are definitely pissed about that video that went viral as well too. So yeah, it's not over with. So everybody down there needs to go ahead and kind of look after each other as much as possible as well too. DJ, I'm gonna go ahead and let you say something real quick, and then we're gonna close this out for the night.
All right, y'all. So, Dr. Dre didn't discover Eminem for those. So I forgot who said that earlier. I think that was Rolling Triple. The Outsiders did. Moko, he didn't get his style from who did you say? Royce or Master Ace.
Master Ace.
Right. So Eminem, in my opinion, got his style from Slang Tongue, Young Z, and Pace One of the Outsiders, bro. You know what I'm saying?
All of them are predated by Master Ace.
Even with
What
that
about
being
Twister?
said,
Not even Twister?
No. Listen to me. Let me rap. I might have to start another space just so we can argue about this shit.
Yeah, because we finna get ready to close. I'm gonna give you a minute. We closing this out.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. I used to
Newstoter, old man, he in a chair.
Yeah. You know, like you said, you always cracking them on the old man shit. So Eminem was discovered by proof that we know. Rest in peace. And shout out to the Outsiders. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to see Eminem for like 2 or 3 summers straight right here in Irvington on a crack block. And I used to think he was a white crackhead. I tell my nigga Pace this shit all the time. He laughs. You know what I'm saying?
Big facts. DJ, because you look like a crackhead. Yes, he did.
But you're logical about this. And we in a black neighborhood. Irvington's still a black neighborhood for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Even with all the Migos moving up in here. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Pace brought him to the block over here on Chancellor and Union Avenue. Hey, this my man Mark with Eminem. Oh shit, damn! I'm thinking in my head, Pace chilling with the white crackhead nigga. For real. But the next summer, I heard that Slim Shady EP. I said, yo, because my white homie said, yo, you heard that dude Eminem? I said, damn, that name do sound familiar and shit, but not catch correlating that Pace actually introduced me to this joker, and then I used to see him. So when my man showed me the CD cover, I said, damn, that's what Pace white crackhead homie. This motherfucker go right.
DJ, hold on. You said everything you said is facts, but I didn't say Master Ace discovered them. I said
I said the style. No, I heard you.
Because the answer is still no. Is facts. Saying is facts. I mean, 2 things can be right at the same time. I just think when he was in his little study cave, wherever the fuck cave he came from,
that was the outhouse. That was the outhouse. When you say the study cave, that was the outhouse, bro.
Wherever his mother pushed him out at, you know what I'm saying? Whatever trailer park he grew up at, he was listening to Master Ace. Amongst other people.
I'm pretty sure it was. He was influenced by us. Hold on a second.
Hey, before we get to, because I got something to do. I definitely need to go ahead and close the space out. So.
Man, you gotta get out Newstoter house, man. He said, get out the house, man.
Shepard coming here like 30 minutes before the space closed, and then he come in here 30 minutes before the space closed, and then he wants the space to stay open for another 2 hours. Come in earlier. Yeah, real quick, because I'm trying to close it out.
Real quick, 50 seconds, man. So Dr. Dre didn't discover Eminem. That was proof in the Outsiders. Eminem used to sleep at the house. That was the studio they had on 21st and Springfield, bro. Stop playing. You know what I'm saying? When you listen to Eminem, I need y'all to pay attention to this. The Outsiders were rapping like that. Master Ace didn't rap like that. Talking about kick my baby mom ass and throw her over the bridge. Niggas was rapping like that. He got his shit from Slang, Pace, and motherfucking Young Z. Let's go, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the Outsiders. She Smoke, you know what I'm saying? Des Dolls, like
the fact of the matter is that he took his style from black people. So whatever.
No, but hold on. You got to give credit where it's due, like you said, like you gave a bird. Give it to the Outsiders because the way Eminem rap, he got that from them. These jokers are from New Jersey, bro. Right here, North Brick City, Irvington, East Orange, whatever how you want to look at it, Essex County. You feel what I'm saying? So the reason why, in my opinion, they never lifted off like that because it sounds crazy when you rapping like that and talking about black people. Folks may not take heed to that, but they got a fan base that they're well known. But why you ain't never come back and uplift them, Eminem? That's the argument. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the Jumbotron, get in the chat. Go listen to those Young Z and Pace videos about how this shit all started and went down. Come on, no.
All right. On that note, we're gonna get ready. I appreciate everybody that came up in the space tonight. Shout out to everybody, the listeners, the speakers, the co-hosts, and everybody that came up in here. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the usual time. So definitely check us out. Everybody have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Peace.
Peace out. Peace, peace.